hey, it's the most exciting intro in all the Fandom Menace. It isn't one. It doesn't exist. It's a meta intro. It's like that symphony that's just a minute or two of silence. It's the absence of things. It's a blank canvas, as someone called art. It's the best intro you've ever seen. It's the Matriarchy, featuring me, as in Mindless Entertainment, also me, as in Jesse Milestone, and my incredible, wonderful co-host, Anna, that Star Wars girl.
What's up?
Hey. I like how you are awesomely promoting an excellent movie, and I'm shamelessly promoting myself. So,
this was I'm going to the freaking car place where there's grown-ups, and I'm a grown-up, but I'm like a child in there, so I'm like, I'm gonna represent.
I'm a grown-up.
My fellow children that are trying to do grown-up things.
Right, we're kids, but we're really adults. But we're really not. Let's see.
A lot of shit happened. A lot of people are alive right now. For whatever fucking reason, EFAP is on Wednesday. I did not get my notification. Somebody let me know on this morning stream, and I'm sad. But you know what? They scheduled it on a day that I got shit to do.
Yeah, well, screw them. You can listen later.
Bad boys. Okay. I know. I'll listen to it.
So we've got Action Figure Expert, The Gaming Night 17, Atechi-san, Alfarius, Movie Block Productions, AK, Mary Mayhem, Are We Getting Snacks? I mean, you can eat this cow. Andrew Matthews, who is referencing H.R. Pickens or Abraham H. Parnassus, so I'm very happy. We have Beth in here. We had Anthony Scioli referencing King of the Hill. And I'm doing well, Action Figure Expert. How are you? And I also want to shout out to a couple of our listeners who can't make it right now, but are excited to listen later. So we got Leon S. Kennedy, and we've got Jen McMahon, who are going to be able to check us out later. So hi, Jen. Hi, Leon. Thanks for listening. Let's feel like you're part of the show. We care about you, too. We care about Leon, Jen, and everyone else listening later, just as much as we care about the people in the chat now. You guys are all amazing. And we're happy to be here. We're excited to be here. We're fired up to be here. We got a lot of fun stuff to talk about today. So without further ado, Brie Larson Captain Twat Waffle dropped a new video last week, and nobody cared. She's quickly becoming almost as irrelevant as Matt Jarbo himself. So, I mean, not that quickly. But if you want to look at the numbers, she shot up real quickly into like the 200,000 subscriber range right off her first video that got 1.9 million views because YouTube promoted the shit out of it. She dropped her Animal Crossing video about a couple weeks later to a massive drop off, almost a 75% drop off because she's went down to like 500,000 some views. And 6 days ago, she put out her wonderful important conversation, which got a whopping 97,000 views thus far, and her sub count has only moved up to 313,000, which, while still enviable for any creator who's put out 3 videos and been on the platform for like a month, is a very, very sharp drop off based on her initial growth.
Henry Cavill would have over 1 million subscribers right now, and they would all be me with my alt accounts. I would go out and make alt accounts and make
you wouldn't. It's not like you'd even go through and use technology to make duplicate accounts. You would literally sit down and make 1 million different accounts. That would be like, I love Henry Cavill fan, Mrs. Cavill, mother of
I told everyone because people were teasing me. They're like, he was live on Instagram, and I said, because I was playing my game this morning, and I was like, if he's ever live and you guys have Instagram accounts, can you all just like tell him to say hi Anna or hi that Star Wars girl and clip it just so I can like lose my shit. And then everyone's like, he's live on Instagram, and I was like, I'm in the middle of playing my game, and I'm like, no, he's not. And I pulled up my phone, and I was like, you guys lied. But I would just make 1 million alt accounts just so I could subscribe to him, and then every single account comment, can you say hi to Anna, or can you say hi that Star Wars girl? And he would have to see it at that point.
I would assume at some point he'd see it. That would be so amazing if he did that. I would die by proxy. I would absolutely die by proxy. Oh, man. Everyone who's joining us, guys, don't forget to press the like button and make sure you share the stream out and tweet, retweet, etc. Fun things to know about YouTube and YouTube engagement. It doesn't actually matter. I have people saying, like, oh, I tweet you out, but I have, like, no followers. I share your videos, but I don't have any followers. It doesn't matter. All those share numbers actually do a lot of good for us. It doesn't matter how many people, necessarily see it from you sharing it because, they click like on your tweet or something. YouTube sees those share numbers, and that affects algorithm, it assumes, oh, people are sharing your video, it must be popular, and it gets bumped up in the algorithm. So little things like that, just clipping it, taking the link and sharing it to Facebook and to Twitter actually does a lot of good for us. So
it really does. I pissed YouTube off so much. They what is the term? They dove into my DMs.
Oh, they slid into your DMs.
That's it. They slid into my DMs because I was bothering them and I was posting screenshots, and I don't think they like it when people post screenshots. But and I think we talked about this last
week. We did, yeah. And your theory.
But I do want to share my screen real fast, Jesse.
I've just been waiting for the optimal moment. I think we need proper gravitas to apprate this.
We really do. So I posted this on Twitter because, as Jesse was saying, Brie Larson has 3 videos, and like I said, if it was Henry Cavill, he'd have 1 million subscribers. I wanted to know why her video didn't have as many views, and I got my answer.
Awkward close-up. But once again, she's still pretending she's doing this handheld nonsense, with her camera. It's utter, because again, she's up close. She's doing this. Let's do an extreme close up to make me look more likable and regular. And it's like, this is so scripted and staged, because again, you
can see the person standing in front of her in her
I didn't realize that. You totally can. They're right.
Yeah, you can see the person filming her.
You totally can. And again, because they're racking the focus. They have cameras that it's like a chess piece, and they hold it like this, and they have the direction. That's how they film people up close in movies when they're walking. And but it has a stabilizer, so that way it doesn't shake. But they probably don't. Because I don't know if you noticed when watching this particular clip too, it's really shaky right in the beginning when she's like, thanks, Jeff. It's really shaky in the beginning, when she's all like, oh, it's my shaky close up and my shaky this. And then right after she says that, it just suddenly gets smooth again. Wow, weird. It's like someone was standing there going like this on purpose, and then went back to using their Steadicam rig.
It bothers me so much. I'm like, girl, you're a professional actress. If you want to have a professional YouTube channel and have all of these important conversations that are so important to have, and let's do a 30-minute video where we have an important conversation about nothing because we just say that. Okay, please, for the love of fucking God, put on some damn makeup. Put on.
The makeup artist was socially distant that day, says Frank DeLuca.
She has like a fucking cold sore right here. It's like,
oh my God, she does. Or like a cracked lip.
No. It's like it looks like a pimple, but I'm pretty sure it's a cold sore.
Yeah.
She has like colored chapstick on.
She does. She definitely has some color on her lip.
She has light
eyeliner.
It looks like she woke up in the morning and didn't wipe off her makeup from the last night on her eye. But I'm just like looking at her because I'm like, wow. I didn't think that she looked good in Captain Marvel or on the or any of like the commercials or any of the red carpet events that she did. But now I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh my God, her makeup artist needs a raise because
right.
And people were saying, they're like, I thought she was like 30. She looks like she's 40. And I'm like,
I'd like to point out Brie Larson and I are basically the same age. And real quick, so you can see this, right? I'm wearing nothing. I'm wearing no makeup, not a smidge, not a bit, not a single element. I don't have nearly I'm very lucky that my skin is great, but it's also like, what are you doing wrong with your life and your health and your skincare regimen that your skin looks that shit at 30?
The one thing I will give her though is that she doesn't get Botox. Like I was having this conversation with, maybe it was you, maybe it was a few matriarchies ago, but the Daisy Ridley, I 100% believe she's gotten Botox because she people say this, she doesn't make an expression, but then I noticed she wasn't getting, she doesn't have wrinkles or anything.
She doesn't have the headlines, yeah.
She does not get Botox. She has her entire forehead. You can see her cringing, and it's like line after line after line after line. And then you can see that she's getting that and that. But I'm like, you guys are basically the same age. You don't have wrinkles like that, but you have very different facial expressions that you make. You don't really tell your expressions with your forehead like she does.
Oh, No, not a little bit. Not really. I have really nice. I have good Polish skin that's nice and oily and shit. So I'm very lucky in that regard. Some of that too also speaks to like when your face looks at this age, when it looks really gaunt like that up close, and your skin looks really weathered. A lot of that speaks to like unhealthy weight issues too. You know,
and sun care, like
too much sun exposure. Which I mean, she's lived in SoCal for most of her life, so clearly wasn't put on enough sunscreen as a kid. And we're probably recently too. And then also just a lot of times like that stretched look that you get there, that even though she's had, some plastic surgery, she still has that sort of gaunt look. A lot of that is like she probably is on one of these like, fashion Hollywood diets that actually she's probably in some ways malnourished. You look at the coloration of her skin too, like she doesn't have healthy pigmentation. She's probably just, I don't know, eats potato chips and then makes her personal trainer teach her how to get the weight off.
My cousin texted me. Totally off topic. I think everyone knows I've been dealing with a lot of car issues, and so I hate spending money on cars. I hate it because the second you buy a car, it immediately goes down in value. So I'm like, what's the point of me buying a car and like buying a brand new car? So I try to find. I'm also like a penny pincher when it comes to stuff, unless it's Baby Yoda, but. My cousin, I saw that she posted on Facebook that she was going to sell her car, and I was like, hey, cousin, you're selling your car. You want to give family discount? The only thing is it's a manual transmission, and I have not driven stick since I was like 15. So I'm like, I don't know. It's a good deal, but I'm like, I don't know,
Yeah.
Sorry, and I just let her know. I'm like, I'm on a live stream. I'll text you when I'm done.
Well, I mean, if it's a good enough deal, I think it's worth the learning curve. Mary, I don't think it's that weird. That sounds like something you and I would probably do in real life. Also, when you said this, was that in reference to me saying that we're the same age? Because thank you. No, I'm not 18. I'm pushing 30. I wish I was 18, but
I'm so happy I'm not 18.
I mean, well, I wouldn't mind a second crack at my 20s. I don't have any regrets.
Be fun.
I don't have any regrets. I lived them up. I did a lot of great things, but I wouldn't. If someone was like, "Hey, you got to just continue your life from here, or you can keep everything the same, your life, the stuff you have now, all your experiences, and just reset your 18 again, carry on. Like I can still have Jeff can reset with me and all that shit, and I'm not like going back in time or anything, but it's just like, all right, DH, you're 18 again. You got your 20s all over again, to make whatever choices, go. I wouldn't mind 10 extra years.
There's a lot of things that I would do differently, but I know everyone says, oh, don't regret your past. Just like you have to go with how you like experience it. I'm like, no, there's a lot of guys that I dated that I wish were never in my life.
That's what's really, I don't want to erase my past though, the bad and the good, because I do definitely think there's a lot of things that made me who I am today. I mean, some of the things like one of my relationships was a mistake, but at the same time, I wouldn't have ended up with the perspective I have and in such a healthy relationship with Jeff now if that hadn't happened. So
that's true. I think I'm one of those people that it's like, I don't quit. I keep going until like you fall off a cliff. So I'm like, I saw the warning signs. I should have stopped, but I didn't, and I went off the cliff. Or
I hear you.
I wish I would have stopped at like certain warning signs to avoid years of my life wasted.
I hear you. That makes sense. Oligarchy, isn't that a money-based system? Because we don't have money, so no.
I know. I'm talking about saving as much money as possible to buy a freaking car.
We're definitely not an oligarchy. I wish we were. God damn, if I had much money to have that kind of influence in society, that'd be great.
That would be great. But so let's talk a little bit about this. So I posted this picture, and it was at like 5 a.m, and everyone was like, "Oh, my eyes, they burn!" But then one of my friends, let me see if I can find it. He posted right here, and I noticed something peculiar about this picture. So, 1.8 million views, 5 to 5K, or like 525,000 views, and then 77
That one showed 77K 3 days post. Now we're 6 days removed from this video. It's only gone up about another 20,000. It's at 97,000 now.
Well, can we just that's funny. That's really funny.
So
But
3 days 77, steep drop off for the second 3 days. Yeah.
I noticed something immediately about the difference between these 3 thumbnails. Does anyone, and I tweeted about this, so if you know, you know, but does anyone notice something very different about this?
Well, aside from the fact that she actually deigns to let another human being in her thumbnail.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'll wait. I don't have the chat up if you want to.
I'm looking in the chat. Let's see if anyone's caught on yet. In the meantime, we're waiting for responses to roll in. Please make sure you press the like button. We are straggling our likes a little bit right now. We always like to see those numbers go up and up. So I took this screenshot that I'm going to share because I'm going to be so mad. So in the like control room window in YouTube, it plays the stream as you're watching it and whatnot. So I have it paused, and it just paused at the most awful picture.
Awkward time.
I'll show when we hit 100 likes. I'll show this picture. So
oh god, do I want to see
right now? It's terrible. But don't worry, my face looks as stupid as yours, so it's okay.
Oh no.
Matthew's got it.
Yeah, so it's funny how, and somebody said it's because it's easier to read a font when it's white or when it's black instead of white, and I'm like, no, it's not. Look, this is almost fading in. This would look a lot better if it was in a white font. There's a reason why white font stands out. And even you could do what I do, where I put a bit of a fade behind it to make it stand out.
So, and it's looking at it right here, right? My first and committed to are similar fonts. My first Animal, committed to. Yes, committed to is the longest of the words, but the other ones, my first video, Animal Crossing, these are all much easier to read than the black. It is harder to read. Even if you're saying, oh well, there's the white background on her, then you just resize their thumbnails. You just resize their thumbnails so that the text fits, in the pink area, and white would have popped much more. It would have
been cuter too. That's just another girl thing. It would have been cuter and it would have matched. But I pointed this out, and I'm just like, here's one of the things, because someone lost their shit and sent me this really long email, and I'm like, here's the thing. When you're dealing with an SJW, the way to beat them is to throw their logic back at them. And so when I tweet some things that, people like, oh, like somebody said, oh, I hope you're being sarcastic. And I'm like, no, I'm throwing their logic back at them. So yes, you can say, obviously, there is a bit of sarcasm there, but it's like, it's funny how you want to say these things. But here's the thing. You're the one that's segregating your, black guests. You're the one that went out of your way to make it different for them it's like, let's do this for our special friend, as compared to treating everyone equal, which they claim they want equality, but they go out of their way to, make them different. And I'm just like, funny how that is,
Interesting. You're so committed to inclusivity, and yet you pointedly others somebody. Interesting. Also interesting to know, I don't know when the closed captioning went up on the other videos. It may just be a factor of time, and they haven't gotten around to it for this one yet. Let me check now. Let me see if it's the closed captioning is up on that one now, because it isn't here. As of 3 days after the video release. Oops, there goes me.
Ooh, what is that?
I have to turn this one, take this one off. Oh, we have 1 dislike, hooray! And we have 61 likes, so we're getting close to showing you the really good picture.
And I know exactly who the dislike is. Isn't that funny how that works?
I definitely, I know who it is too. That's easy. That's easy. Nope, 6 days. It still does not have closed captioning. It's an interesting little detail. Why does it? When I'd be curious to go back and to see when did these other ones get closed captioning? Is it just a factor of a delay? Is this video going to get it? And why is it that? Why? Yeah. So yeah, I did suffer through this entire video, which is difficult because I really have trouble with videos of people who spend the first 5 minutes talking about nothing. I don't want to stick around because you're not there. Why am I still here? There's no reason I'm still here listening to you. You've wasted 5 minutes of my life already to get to the point. So the first 5 minutes, they just talk about talking about things. I just talk for 5 minutes about why this is such an important conversation for the sorry.
I got to about 4 minutes and 36 seconds. I just went to go check when I paused it, and I think that's when I tapped out.
Fair enough. Sorry, I got to deal with something here because someone in the chat this is not acceptable.
Do you need me to take care of it?
No, it's just I'm just dealing with this right here. Okay. Did you do it? Did you report this? Okay. And okay. Good. Okay, that went away. Excellent. Sorry, I just had to deal with something really. Someone said it's still here over here. Let me see. Okay. Good. I just want to take a second before we get back on track here. We do not support anything. We do not support people being shitty to people on this platform. My policy basically, if I see you being shitty to other people in the chat, if I see you being shitty to me or my guests, you will get blocked, or you will get put in timeout. I will always put you in timeout first. I'll give you an opportunity to get your shit together and figure out how to not be an asshole. And if you, after 5 minutes, if you come back and you still want to be an asshole, you will get a block from the channel. I don't like blocking people. I don't like censoring the flow of information. I don't like kicking critics off the platform. I'm totally fine having critics here. I'm totally fine having detractors, and I'm totally fine with people expressing their points of view. But if you're just here to be shitty to people, if you're just here to be an asshole, I don't want you here. I don't need you here. Your opinion is not worthwhile, valuable to me if your opinion is just fuck you or blah, blah, blah. So just want to put that out there, full stop. Also, I don't care what you think about Anna. I know some people will some people like me better than they like Anna when you're over on my channel, and vice versa when we're on Anna's week. And Anna's always excellent to me in that regard on her channel. It is the same thing here. I don't give a shit if you like me better than Anna. I don't give a shit if you really don't care for her channel or don't subscribe to her channel. She is my guest. She is my friend. She's my best friend. And you will be fucking respectful to her. And that is all.
And yeah.
Exactly.
I can hear a really bad echo, but
yes, I don't know where it's coming from.
I don't have the chat pulled up, so I didn't see. But
good.
All right.
Don't worry, Mary. I got it taken care of. But yes, I'm glad you didn't see it because it was shitty. So
okay. Well, back to what we were talking about with the Brie Larson. But we can touch on that for a minute. You know what blows my mind is how people like to throw temper tantrums about you and I and other people that we're friends with on YouTube, when it's like, it's literally YouTube. There are millions of channels. If you don't like us, guess what?
Watch something else.
Go, yeah. It's not like it's Clockwork Orange and we're like forcing you to sit here with your eyes peeled open for you to watch this. That just shows that you guys either have absolutely no lives, or you're just so miserable in your own life that you have to go out of your way to stalk someone you don't like and you don't know, just to go and post hateful comments on their YouTube videos. It's like, grow up, build a bridge, get the fuck over it, and move on with your life.
Exactly.
So, there you go.
One of the things that you'll people will have noticed too, I am much more likely to put people in timeout or block them for saying shitty things about my friends and people I care about. Because if you say shit to me about me, you can say whatever you want about me. You can hate me all you want. I don't care about you. So if you're like, well, how come I get to sit in your chat and say all this abusive stuff to you and you never notice or block me or do anything? It's because I don't care. It's because the things you say mean nothing to me because you are so unimportant. And that's one of the things. This is what I'll tell other YouTubers too, because it's hard sometimes when you get inundated with some of the stuff. It's hard not to focus on the negative. It's hard not to focus on the bad stuff. But this is what I internalize and what I say to other people who are struggling with the same things. I already won. I have a platform. You can sit there in the comments all you want and shit on me saying, your channel's not that big. It's not that important. Nobody cares about you. Guess what? A damn sight more people give a shit about me than care about you. So I already win. My opinion already carries more weight, goes further, and affects more people than yours. So you can just shut the fuck up because nobody gives a shit.
And see, the way I see it, I just look at it as it's very unhealthy. And so for a very long time, I was like, I'll just ignore it. Like, obviously, comments on my channel, they'll get filled. And you can go in and manually put, like, if you say this word, like if you say like the C word, like if you say cunt, if you say bitch, if you say that, it'll automatically get flagged and held for review. And it could be like somebody says, oh, Kathleen Kennedy is a cunt, and that still gets put in. So that's why I have to go through it manually. And you start seeing the same names and the same accounts, and I would just leave it, whatever. But then I'm like, you know what? They're doing it because they want a reaction. So that's why I just started going, if they don't get attention, then eventually they'll get bored and they'll move on. And it's kind of like when a child is throwing a temper tantrum and screaming. Some parents, they go in and they coddle them, and guess what? The kid learns, oh, if I scream, I'm going to get mommy and daddy's attention. If you shut the door and you walk away and let them scream until they pass out, guess what? They're going to learn that that's not how you get attention. So that's the way I handle it. You're going to go into the room and you're going to scream until you pass out. And then, when you want to be an adult and stop screaming like a child, then you can come out and join the rest of us. But until then,
that kind of goes perfectly into this super chat too, and how I feel about that. How would so Ruinhouse Grounded, thank you for the super chat, first one of the day. How would you feel about doing a live stream with Brie Larson? I would give Brie credit if she did a live stream with either of you.
I would give her a lot of credit too. That would be very bold of her
as well. And this is the thing, and that's the difference too. If anybody, I can hate on Brie Larson all I want. If she were to come on a stream with me, I would be respectful to her, and I would expect the same in response. And that's anybody in the chat, anybody in the world who disagrees with me or hates me. If you're willing to have a conversation with me, I am willing to engage with you on that level. I've been meaning to make a video inviting Brie to collaborate. She'll probably never see it. She probably won't do it. But I'd be very, very clear that in that situation, I'd be interested, in hosting her for a conversation as a bridge building exercise. Let us see if two people who are diametrically opposed in so many ways can come together and find that common ground, can build a bridge, can extend an olive branch of understanding to each other instead of just write each other off because you don't believe what I believe or you don't like me, so fuck you. I'm very interested in that kind of thing. I'm always interested in collaborating with people who don't like me or who believe different things from me, because that's how we learn and grow. I don't think that Brie Larson is interested in learning and growing, though, so I don't think she would ever accept that invitation.
No, that's the thing. She would never do it, but I'm always very upfront with people, especially if it's somebody that I've been very critical of, like Brie, and I would say, hey, I made, this many videos, and these were the points in all of my videos, and here's my entire list of problems that I have, and I will ask her very directly to where she can't sidestep it. And if she does try to sidestep, it's like, it'd be like me asking you a direct question and then going like backtracking and like, oh, well, da 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 da. And it's like, no, that's not what I asked you. I asked you this, this, and this. And it's like, people, I feel like because I don't really perceive it, but I've been told I come on very, confrontational and abrupt. So even if I try to be as nice and as, I'm very civil in the way that I handle things unless
you're direct. People are scared of that, though. That's the whole thing. I think you're much less abrasive than I am. I know that I can be very abrasive, but you're just direct. I don't think you're abrasive. I don't think you're rude or confrontational. I think you're just direct, and people can't handle that. So few people are. I mean, you watch this again, this whole 17 fucking minute video. They don't. She doesn't say. Eventually, her guest Justina gets into it a little bit more. Also, like, to me, she's so like a very important conversation. ... parentheses with Justina. I can't remember her last name out of my head because it's weird. Why not stick her name right on the thumbnail? Why not make it about her? And you made an excellent point. I'll let you make it since it was your point. We were talking about it, discussing it a little bit off air about the way that she brought her on.
I think it's so there's certain times where it's like if you're on a big live stream and it's like you kind of know someone, especially, so this is why I'm a big stickler when I have people on my channel, like, I let everyone know, like, hey, like, I am sending this link to you, and like maybe sometimes if it'll be in like a group, like a group message and stuff, like then usually if it's in a group message, I know all the people, but I'm like, if I'm sending it to you and you invite someone, if you send the link to someone that I don't know and you invite them on my channel, first off, that's like inviting someone you don't know into your house. It's like, it's polite to ask. And that's the way I view a channel. It's like, this is my house. This is my home. And if you're going to come and be rude in my home, then it's, this, and this. But if you're coming into my home, it's my home. I need to greet you. And if I have other guests, I'm going to introduce you to my guests. So that's why when we have this show, when you're on my channel, I start off and I say, I'm joined by Jesse, just like you did today. You said, this is the show. I'm joined by Anna. And so she didn't even really introduce her guest. And it's like, you are Brie Larson. You are, Miss Captain Marvel, Miss Oscar winning actor or actress. And you are trying to give we don't know who this person is. We don't know. Her name's Justina, correct?
Yeah, Justina.
We don't know anything about Justina. It's your chance to say, hey, I'm Brie Larson. I'm having this person that nobody knows on my channel. This is her name. This is what she does. This is how we met. And these are all these great things about her. And this is why she's on my channel. This is why she is my guest on my channel. She didn't do that. She said, she's like, here, introduce yourself. And then she casually said later, oh, yeah, we met at this thing doing this thing. She doesn't.
Well, the thing is, we met at this thing. She's like, introduce yourself. And then she goes into, we met at this thing. And then it's all about her. We met because of this project that I was involved in. I did this stuff for it. And through it, I got the chance to meet her. And it was so cool. It's all about me. It wasn't about Justina. It wasn't about her work. It wasn't about what she does. It was they put up like introduce yourself. It showed her name and it showed her like title description. They never got at all into what she actually does, into why, she was a part of this project. Brie talked all about her fucking involvement in the first couple minutes, but why was Justina part of this? Why is she an important guest? What's her resume? That's like, it's I treat it when I bring a guest on, like, on a Tonight Show or kind of thing, where you introduce I personally like, even when I have a show that's going to be centered around a guest, I like to come on first before I bring the guest on and find the audience. Here's my intro. Let's get this out of the way. This is what we're talking about, blah, blah, blah. And then do a whole intro of here, here's my guest. This is why they're here. This is, their background. This is all this stuff, whatever. And then I bring them in, that's how I like to do it. But because I think it's that, and especially, it's one thing, like, if I'm bringing Ethan on, like, this man needs no introduction. He's a bigger platform than I am, blah, blah, blah. Here's Ethan,
Also, it would be different if it's the first time it's on your channel, like it's first time and you introducing him to your audience. And I mean, we've all kind of grown, and that's another thing where it's like, okay, if you're just starting off and you don't know how to do things, you'll learn after a while. Like, you'll learn how to do the algorithm. You learn like what thumbnails work. You'll learn like what type of title works, how the tags work. Okay, if she was a new and upcoming YouTuber and like her first video just happened to hit the algorithm right and all of that, and it's like, okay, she's not a famous celebrity that has an Oscar and is in a Marvel movie and all that, and didn't have an entire team working with her on this, I could be more understanding. Say, okay, she didn't know this is her first time. No. And somebody said, well, Anna, like, she didn't, or she doesn't know how to do this. I'm like, she didn't make the thumbnail. She didn't edit the video. She didn't title the video. She didn't do anything except for show up and be there to film it.
Exactly. You're right. She doesn't know how to do any of this stuff. She still doesn't know how to do any of this stuff, and she'll never learn because she's not doing it for herself. Then no part of this is.
But you would think that the person, like her PR team, would have like scripted it a little bit better, because it is very scripted and like.
Look, it's her videos kind of play like the Disney sequel trilogy. Huge clickbait, everyone come see what this is about. Not nearly the same retention, and nobody cares anymore. That's and that she did that. We had to go through years of that with Disney. She managed to do this all on her own. It's just like looking at, no, you're not gonna have that same. You're not gonna hit the same heights as your first one, but it's just this drop off is very abrupt. And another really interesting thing, I feel like it just demonstrates her priorities crystal clear. They made a decision. We ramble on for 21 minutes with all these YouTubers, and what am I going to do, and how am I going to do this and this, and everyone wants to see me do gaming. So what is her next video? It's all about me and Animal Crossing, and that's her entire another 70 minutes about me and Animal Crossing. And then great. So it's more important to show your Animal Crossing island than it is, which she didn't even fucking do, than it is to show this very important conversation about race and whatever, which it never really got there. And the really interesting thing, and Brie missed the point entirely. The really interesting thing, if you go through this whole video, when you listen to Justina talking about it, I actually really liked her. I actually really liked hearing what she had to say.
That's actually what I thought. Like, the little bit that she was there, I'm like, I actually kind of like her, but like, this video.
Because she wasn't talking about people, racist people and anti-progress people and this and that. She was talking about how she was talking about the issues within the social justice movement and how people want to make definitions and everyone's a different way of saying this and a different line for what is okay and what's not. And then she talked about one of the most interesting things she talked about was white people who love to go to the shittiest part of Africa and take a picture with a little black baby, you know, on the brink of starvation. And, oh, look, like this is the most meaningful, powerful moment of my day and my life. And she straight up said, she was like, black people we all hate this. We think this is stupid. I mean, she's basically calling out virtue signaling.
Which I guarantee you is something Brie Larson did.
Oh, I'm sure she's done. And then she made this whole point about that, about like the virtue signal. She without using those words, but she made this whole really, really good point about it's not about what you post. It's not about what you hashtag. It's about what you do in your day-to-day life. It's about walking the walk, not just what you post. I'm like, that was so perfect. And then Brie Larson's response was like, yeah, I think you're just making an excellent point about all these things being teachable moments. And I love teachable moments. And immediately back to me. Why should I have anxiety about talking about these conversations? Why should I be afraid of learning and have somebody correct me and this and that? Like, it's not fucking about you. Unless that was her own internal way of subconsciously recognizing that she is the fucking virtue signaler, which I doubt she even at that deeper subconscious level is that amount of self-awareness. But it was just so, and then she, one of the things that Justina said that I really liked too was about, you know, she doesn't want to talk about like now because it's the big race conversation. She has people coming to her all the time and people want to talk about their white guilt and their this and their that. And she's like, I don't want to do that. Like, I don't want to, whatchamacallit. She's like, I don't always want to do that. Some days, yeah, I want to hear somebody's perspective. I want to hear their point of view. I want to talk to them about it and help them, you know, work through their experiences. Other days, I'm tired. I have emotions too. I have a life. I don't want to be on all the time. I don't want to be always, you know, having to be the ambassador. Basically, to paraphrase, she's basically saying, I don't want to always have to be the ambassador for my race, you know, and racial. It was just really human and well put and down to earth. And then every time we went back to Brie, it was about Brie, and it was about whatchamacallit. It was about why can't I words? Why can't I words? You know, it's about her and her experiences and her this and her that. I do want to address this. It's a good question. The Temperamental Goat says, what has Jesse done for charity or important causes? Seriously asking. It's a great question. I will say one of the differences is that I hope I don't ever act like I'm doing more than I actually am. So I will say I do think it's important, you know, to do things for important causes and to give and stuff like that. I don't try not to pretend I'm doing more than I am, for one thing. I have done a smattering of you know, good things in my time. One of the things I do every year is called Gish. It's a global scavenger hunt organized by so look out for it because some of the weirdness is going to be going on online all of next week. It's a global scavenger hunt that's going to be done, you know, more indoors this year, run by Misha Collins, the actor who plays Castiel in Supernatural.
Oh, cool.
And yep, and he's really big into Random Acts, which is a great charitable organization. Whatchamacallit. It's Random Acts of Kindness is the idea, you know. And so it's an organization that it's one of these sort of bigger organizations that will give money towards various different kinds of programs. So I really like that charity. I like Misha Collins. And one cool thing about participating in Gish, it's all about sort of like let your freak flag fly, but a lot of it is about, it stands for the greatest international scavenger hunt. It used to be Gish Whiz, the greatest international scavenger hunt the world has ever seen. They shortened it to Gish a few years ago. So the greatest international scavenger hunt, what it stands for, or, you know, Smashing Pumpkins' first album, if you like. And what's cool about it is that there's a lot of the items that you do in the scavenger hunt are about like creativity or like public displays of weirdness and stuff like that. That's really fun and about like being yourself. Nina Infinity, it is super fun. Next year I want to try to organize a like YouTube based team because it's better if you have people from like different parts of the world. This year it's a little different. We're not really, I signed up because I wanted to give you know, money to the charity, and I'm doing it just for fun this year. But next year I'd love to do this. What I agree that charity is a great way to launder money. This one particularly, I do know a lot about this one. I have actually read into its inner workings. I think it is important if you're going to give money to charity, especially if that's the main thing you're going to do, for charitable giving, it is really important to know where that money's actually going. Now, the thing I like about Gish, though, is in addition to the creativity and the weirdness, it is about community outreach, and it is about, awareness and stuff like that. So I really like that because you're not just saying, oh, I paid my entry fee, that money went to Random Acts, but you're actually being asked to get involved with some of these acts of charity, with bringing awareness to certain issues, and fun. Like, he's done fun things. He always says that he had a lot of the years there'll be a weird item about like picking two diametrically opposed groups, like a high-ranking Republican, high-ranking Democrat, or a Hutu and a Tutsi, or Blood and a Crip. Like, get actual two people from these opposing groups and sit and have a picture of them, together, like be like reaching, across the aisle kind of. And I really like that kind of stuff. He's always does things to bring awareness to like how one of the biggest issues in homelessness in impoverished communities is women getting access to menstrual items and stuff. That's always a big thing. It's always a great need. It's always a big deal. Like on Skid Row in LA, they're always asking for those items to be donated and stuff like that. So he'll usually have an item each time about making art out of like pads or something, but then also says part of the item is proof that however much material you used, you donated that same amount of material to a homeless shelter or a group that needed it. So it's stuff like that where it's beyond just paying your money and saying I've given to this group, but you're actually being asked to get involved with the acts of kindness themselves. And a lot of these items are about doing just like a more direct, a more personal random act of kindness. Like one year my friend and I dressed up as waitresses and handed out free coffee at a bus stop. So it's not necessarily people but actually it was interesting too, because it wasn't the people in super need, which is a nice thing to do for people. But then there was a homeless guy at a bench a little ways down, and we gave him, a cup of coffee. And it was just like, clearly he was like suspicious at first. He was like, who are these people giving me free stuff? And then when he realized we were just, we told him a little about what we're doing, he just thought it was really cool and really sweet. And he got a free cup of coffee. He was really happy. So, it's, yeah. So I that's one of the big things I do annually to try to give back. There's other little things, from the grander scales and smaller scales. I personally prefer over every now and then if I see something, I'll give a little money to something good, but I personally prefer to do something on a smaller scale that will have a more direct and personal impact on one person or a smaller part of the community, rather than just throw my money at a monolith and hope it goes to the right place. So yeah, it was a really good question. Thank you for asking that. It's an important question, important thing to talk about. So thank you. And no, you don't have to pay to see it. It helps. Just to address that really, really quickly. When it comes to super chats and reading and not, we don't only respond to super chats, and we don't do that if we're reading them more. It's not that we care more about what those people have to say, or we're just trying to scam you for money. We have a running chat here. We're trying to hold a dialogue with the two of us. We're trying to cover topics, share images, and try to keep in touch with the chat. So we just don't hit everything. And we do, if someone took the time and took the money to, give us that support that we do need to live on, that we do need to do our job, we do like to honor that. So I just want to put that in perspective. It's not, I know some people feel that way sometimes, that, I got to pay to get my voice heard. We don't respond to this. We don't make a point to respond to the super chats because you got to pay for us to care. We make a point to respond to that because we're incredibly grateful. We're grateful for all of you who watch, who like, who.
I don't really think you need to explain that, Jesse. I feel like anyone, like, kind of with common sense understands.
Yeah, but someone was saying something in the chat, so I wanted to address.
Oh, gotcha.
Specifically that.
Well, in that case, I'll answer. I can't say what charities I've done because everything was done for certain companies that I worked with. But I have done plenty of charity work. I did a lot when I was living in San Francisco. Again, that was all through companies that I worked for, and I don't need those people and the people that I did volunteer work getting harassed by psychos on the internet. And then I also do one, with stuff art related. There's one in LA that I do, and then there's other ones that I do. But again, I don't want any of them getting stalked, or else I would talk about it. But yeah.
Such a shitty thing to realize is that we are in this position now because of our perceived affiliations, that like, even if we're doing, other people will ruin good things just because our name is attached to it.
Oh, 100%. Like one of the I'll say this, one of the things I do is with children, and I don't need the people that are in charge of this program that I do stuff for, because I don't need to go and take a picture of what I'm doing. You know, the kids know, I know, the people that I work with that I do that stuff with, they know. It's not important, you know. But if I were to say anything, or if I were to advertise it or anything, they would get harassed. The people in charge would get harassed. The parents would get harassed. The kids would get harassed. It's not worth it. So I just don't advertise it.
Yeah, which sucks. Let's see a few super chats here. We had Maddie Hammond, who's always very active in the chat here. Says, "Can you and Anna Banana shout?"
Okay, you guys ready? You guys ready?
Can we do 3, 2, 1? There you go, Maddie. You feel free to clip that and use that on all of your in anywhere you want. Borg says, "Hey ladies, hope the theme parks open up here out in Cali before the year ends. I'll treat both of you plus Jeff with some Universal Studio tickets for some park hopping." Oh, well, thanks, Borg. Actually, Jeff and I both have the annual pass.
I was thinking about actually getting the annual pass too, to come hang out with Jess Seymour. But you can always try to coordinate, because I actually met Borg at LA Comic-Con and he hung out with me for a while.
Oh, cool. Unfortunately, they did just announce Halloween Horror Nights is canceled, which sucks. But you know, it's if it does open by the end of the year, I would love I'd love to go do a Universal day with you. That would be great. I miss going there. I always call it my happy place, because with the nice thing with the pass and it being like very close to where I live.
I know, it's so convenient. Every time I drive up to see you, I pass it. I don't know where it is. I had my wand. It's on Peaches' phone, but he recorded. I got picked at Ollivanders to get my wand, and I'm like, I never get picked for anything. And it's on his phone, and he still hasn't fucking sent it to me from years ago. It was so magical, because it's like you do the thing and the thing explodes and you hold it and like the wind hits you and the lights, and I'm like, I have my wand.
The only time I've actually gone through that park, because it's always a stupid line, some like broy dude got picked and I was very mad. I was disappointed. Anthony Shirley says, if Brie was cool, she'd have Skyblocks Island instead. I'm not familiar with it, but I believe you. I do know that Brie is not cool, so that's fine. Saroon of House Roundhead says, I would have respect for Brie Larson if she came on here and allowed you in the chat to roast her. Not saying you would roast her. Well, what I would do if she ever agreed to come on and something like that, I would coordinate ahead of time, like list of questions. Be like, look, we are going to ask you some hard questions that me and my audience would like answers to, because we do have opinions. We're entitled to those. But that said, here's the information about me and stuff. You are more than welcome to compile your own list of hard questions and not hold back. And I'd be happy to address those as well. So, yeah, I would honestly, realistically, if she did something like that, if she took herself out of her comfort zone, I would have a lot. That's the thing. I would have a lot of respect for her if she did that. I'm not saying I'm going to love her and start singing her phrases and sing her praises and start supporting her movies or anything. But I would definitely, I try not to let my opinions about most people be permanent. I want to leave room. I'm not a social justice warrior. I'm not like, you did something 10 years ago, I hate you forever. I try to give people that opportunity to demonstrate, that they're not the person that, that their reputation dictates. As someone who's been shoehorned by unearned reputations before, I always want to give someone that opportunity. But if they consistently double down on these things, I'm not going to do it.
Well, I also think a lot of it has to do with, like, when you live in a certain environment, it is very easy to get brainwashed. Like, I'm watching like people that I grew up with and then people that I went to college with that were normal fucking people. And then they're posting stuff on like Instagram or Facebook. And I'm just like, this isn't you, but because they've been brainwashed by what's been going on in society. And it doesn't necessarily just have to do with like politics. It has to do with other things. And they're just like this, and this. And like, you're a normal person, like a normie, not just saying like you're a normal person. It's like you're a normie and you're saying stuff like that because you're getting brainwashed by what's in either the news or in entertainment. And it's like the norm. And then you ask them a few questions, it's like, oh, no, like this, and this. And it's like, okay, but you're saying this, and this is, and you're getting all controversial about this, and this, but when you actually talk to them, it's like, oh no, like they're just saying those catchphrases because that's what's popular. I feel like with Brie she's been desperately trying to be in the limelight, and so she got lucky that she got that one role that changed her career, which was in Room. And then I feel like her entire PR team are like, say this and this and this because it's popular and it's trending.
Yeah.
And you can even tell by these videos, she's very edited, she's very scripted. She doesn't say anything controversial because people lost their minds when she was being controversial. And so her PR team's like, nope, you got to play it as safe as humanly possible. And, you know, she doesn't have a personality anymore.
Did she ever to begin with?
Well, I've seen some of the things that she did in the past. I mean, I feel like maybe a little bit.
Maybe at one point back when she knew how to smile. Yeah, I do think that you're making a lot of points about that. I've noticed too in my own life. I have a friend who started dating somebody who's definitely more vocal about the social justice stuff. And now she usually doesn't stays very measured and it's very uninvolved and doesn't get swept up in the hype. And she did get swept up in the hype over the protests and all that. I have another friend, a very good friend of mine, one of my oldest friends in LA, who has a girlfriend who just got into that shit and is now like basically has decided without ever having met me that I am racist and doesn't want my friend hanging out with me anymore. I'm like,
has she seen Jeff?
Nope, she doesn't. She doesn't know anything. She's never met me. She's never spoken to me. She doesn't know anything about me except that what she's mined from YouTube and Twitter. And she's been very selective in what she looked at. She chose a Social Justice Wednesday video from like a year ago.
Oh my God.
I'm like, that's satire, you dumb bitch.
Well, I'm sorry about your friend. No, but it's like I've noticed with people that I used to be really, close to, that, I used to be really good friends with, and they're saying all of these things. Like, I mean, I got a message from she was like one of my best friends in college, and she sent me a screenshot of one of my live streams that was unlisted and like members only. And she's like, I'm totally fine with cutting off our friendship if you this, and this. And I'm like,
I remember you telling me about this. Yeah.
I'm like, you didn't watch the live stream. And I was like, I was talking about this. And she's like, answer my question. And I'm like, I did answer your question, but you don't like the answer I'm giving you. And like basically accusing me of being racist. And I'm just like, what about the years that we spent together? What about all the times that we did A, B, and C? And she's just like, I'm completely willing with not being friends. I'm like, first, you haven't spoken to me in 3 years. We were best friends our first year of college together. And I'm just like, people are so, it's witch trials right now. It's complete witch trials. And they're so quick to judge you on things that they don't know anything about. But thank you, Mary.
Thanks, Mary. That's exactly what Anna said. Super down to a personal decision, a way to support channels you love. This is common sense. It doesn't need an explanation. Rock on, Jesse and Anna. Thank you. And I'll highlight Macy's right after because he kind of responds directly to that. Just remember, there's a coin shortage in this country. That means there's a serious shortfall of common sense here. Ha, 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 ha. See, those are the kinds of puns that don't piss me off as much because they're like, it's a great double use of the word. I hate the ones where people are just like, let's just mash this word that kind of sounds like this other word and make this dumb pun out of it. And I'm like, that is kind of funny. I appreciate you. And I appreciate this, Mr. Another. Thank you. For this awesome super chat, who says Queen of Swords and Hobbit of Endor. I really appreciate you ladies. Sadly, this may be the last show support you two for now until I can get back on my feet. Oh, I'm struggling with repairing my home, dealing with spinal injuries and kidney problems. I hope this helps. Thank you, Mr. Another. That's incredibly generous of you. And we appreciate your willingness to support us all the time. And that goes both ways. If you need any help or support yourself, if it's something where you need to crowdfund to try to raise some money for your house or anything like that, reach out to us. You can always email me.mindlessentertainment@gmail.com. It's in my about section on YouTube if you ever forget that. Feel free to reach out if you ever, need that help, need a little boost, if you need to set up a crowdfund or something and you need us to put it around. You've been an incredibly fun, supportive member of our chats. We love your trolling. We love all that. So if there's anything we can do for you, since you've been such a great supporter of us, I'm always happy to do that for you. And everything.
And don't be embarrassed or anything, because it's this community has been so amazing. And it's like, I know, like, obviously the situation with my family, I believe they crowdfunded to help Mary get a new computer, and it's never be embarrassed. People, it's hard times right now, and if you need help, that's one thing that's taken me a lot to learn, is because I don't like asking for help at all. It doesn't matter if I'm completely broken. I don't like asking for help, but you know, this
Yeah.
community is always there. That's one of the most amazing things about the Phantom Menace is we all have each other's back. And
Yeah.
if you need help, you know, thank you for the super chats for, you know, both my streams and Jesse's streams, but you know, they're not, you know, required, they're not needed. It's just, it is appreciated that, you know, you go out of your way like that. But if you are struggling, you know, keep that for you.
Exactly. And know that we're always here, and exactly that. We're always here for you. Everyone needs help sometimes. So it's a two-way street. You know, we may not be able to financially give back to you, but we can certainly help you get awareness for whatever you need in your life, you know. And also sometimes it's just nice to have, sometimes I've done it before, like someone reached out to me when his mother was in the hospital, and you know, and I just made a quick little video asking for thoughts and prayers. And I know sometimes little things like that can help pick people up, even if I'm not in a position to, you know, give you what you need to fix your house. I can certainly send support your way, send love your way, and then if you need that boost from crowdfunding, etc., I'm always happy to use my platform to help people, you know, get those basic things they need. You know, everyone, your health and your home, your health and your home are two incredibly key things. These aren't wants, these aren't whims, these are necessities, and we want to make sure that our people are taken care of as well. And Andre Johnson finally says, "Stop everything. It's the Matriarchy. It's been so long since I've caught this live. So nice to see you two queens. It's great to see you here, Andre Johnson. Great to see you live. And for everyone not watching live, it's great for you to have you here listening as well. We love and appreciate you just as much. But thanks, Andre Johnson. I'm glad that you're here. I'm glad that you made it. And we did cross that 100 like threshold. So sorry, Anna.
What? Do we need to show a picture? That's actually pretty funny.
Isn't it?
I like that a lot.
All right, vote in the chat. Who's making the stupider face? 1 for me, 2 for Anna. Go ahead and vote. I'll vote too. Anyway, Sketch Diary says, "Send me hilarity. What I want is a laugh." I agree with that. I have a friend who, whenever we're stressed, she just sends us memes in our group chat and stuff. It's fun. So there you go. There's your stupid picture, stupid face. And so I'm going to say something that I think is a really obvious statement for everyone else here. But what should we call it? I haven't really followed this too much. I've only just recently learned how much of a cunt Gail Simone is.
Oh God.
That's recently learned this. Let me see it. So John Barber says, "Is Ed doing the old what's up face?" We got, I don't know. The early run was a lot of 2s, but now I've seen a lot of 1s. So it was more 2 heavy in the beginning. Macy's being egalitarian about it. But then I think you've edged me out a little bit on this one for face stupidity. I'm chipmunking now, which I always think looks pleasant. Anyway, so there's that. Anyway, so yeah, I've just recently learned just how much of a cunt Gail Simone is. For specifically what I'm looking, you know, just the hypocrisy of this movement. I think she highlights it so well. She is the number one person to throw a temper tantrum when people are mean to her. She is the number one person, one of the number one people to call for boycotts. Apparently, she was the one leading, starting the thread on Twitter saying, "Hey, let's all post pictures of our dogs after Jay Lee's dog died." You know, she's that kind of human trash. She is that kind of trash. When the thing is, it's like, what grounds do you have to stand on? No one buys your fucking comics, lady. No one gives a crap about your work. It's not interesting. It's not. People don't want it. So get off your goddamn high horse, acting like you're so effing great when Ethan probably outsold you in one release in his first issue of Cyberfrog than you have, done on your combined projects in your entire fucking career, So it's
and the next part of the Whisper Network is releasing tomorrow, so we're gonna know even more shit about Gail soon.
I gotta follow up. Somebody emailed me about that stuff. He was asking me if I was interested in taking it up as well and making some videos. So
about the Whisper Network?
Yeah, because
I haven't done anything on it just because I know personally my audience, they don't really like it when I talk about comics, which is fine. It is what it is. Like my audience loves it when I talk about Brie Larson, and now I'm so happy about this, Jesse. This is the best thing ever.
Like Christmas in July, Brie Larson's YouTube channel. Yeah.
No. People love it when I do thirst Henry Cavill videos, and I'm like,
oh my god, that's
if I turn my channel and do a thirst Henry Cavill video, that would be the best thing. And I didn't even know that this was.
Oh my god, Anna, you should start a second channel called That Henry Cavill Girl.
Oh no, that's crossing a creeper line that I'm not willing to get over. I don't think I'm willing to admit my problem yet like that.
Ooh, you know what? TSWG, when people ask you what that stands for, could just easily be That Superwoman Girl. Henry Cavill's future wife.
No.
You're like, nope, too far.
No, he has blue eyes, and I wouldn't want to spawn things like that. No offense.
Do you have a blue-eyed recessive? Do you know? Is there anyone blue-eyed?
Green, unfortunately. Well, green isn't as bad. Green is actually the rarest eye color out there, but my eyes are hazel, so my eyes turn green, which I'm like, I wish I had the dark, deep brown eyes like Antonio Banderas. But anyways, no, Henry Cavill actually everyone has to have a flaw. That is his. He has a spot of brown in the top of one of his eyes, and I'm like, oh. But if he had dark brown eyes, I would just be completely done. And also he's got that. Well, anyway, it's just. But anyways, I forgot what I was. Oh yeah, but people really fucking like my thirst Henry Cavill reaction videos, and I'm like, I really enjoy making these, so I don't mind them.
I can't get away with that at all because I don't think people would watch my thirst Jeff videos, and people would be turned off if I did thirst videos for another man because they, Jeff's part of our community and stuff. Peach is the faceless entity. So.
Oh no, people are like, don't you? I feel bad for Peach. I'm like, Peaches looks like Keanu Reeves in John Wick, but hotter. He is completely fine.
I say that Jeff is my Han Solo because there's something about he has that. So Jeff's voice is really interesting, and you can hear it if you really listen to him talk a lot of the times. He sounds different, doing a narrative, doing more narrative style in his videos versus in his podcast versus just talking sometimes. But it's really interesting. Certain moments, like when we're tired and chatting in bed and stuff, I know TMI and whatnot, he actually sounds, I noticed this early on in our relationship, he sounds exactly like, there's certain times, usually when he's tired and talking quietly, he sounds exactly like Jared Padalecki from Supernatural. And then there's
Which one is that?
Sam, the slightly less cute one, but still very cute, the tall one, the brown hair.
Oh, Dean from Gilmore Girls.
Yes, Dean from Gilmore Girls, which is funny because then Dean.
The other brother's name is Dean.
Yeah, Dean from Gilmore Girls, and then he has another lower voice that only comes out every now and then. That just hits his lower register just purely by accident, and it reminds me a little bit of Harrison Ford. And I also say that the way Jeff is, just personality wise, is he's my Han Solo.
Aww.
I win. It's everything. Blue tongue. Oh, you'd love this. Our Uber driver last night gave us this little thing with lollipops in it.
Oh, that's so nice.
Gave us 4 lollipops. It was awesome.
So nice.
Yeah, it was the sweetest thing. Thanks, Mike.
Oh yeah, the Whisper Network, and then we got into Henry Cavill for whatever reason.
Well, we just got some baller
videos.
We did just get some baller ass super chats here, so let me hit them up. Thank you, ballers, for all coming out in force today. Jordan D'Ambrini says, I find it quite pitiful that some squabbling fool would require an explanation for a super chat. If I had $1 million, I would give it all. I would give it all to you for your honesty. Well, maybe just half. Well, I need some of it. Well, of course you do. Thank you. Thank you, Jordan D'Ambrini. You're an awesome supporter, obviously, and I appreciate that sentiment. And yeah, I mean, sometimes. You're right. I shouldn't have to explain. I shouldn't feel like I have to explain it. And if people require an explanation, then they just don't. Then you're right. They don't get it. It's the common sense of what this is has eluded them, and it's not my responsibility to constantly defend my need to get paid to do my job, which I always think is really funny. It's like this is my day job. This is my only job right now because I can't do all my other jobs because of the coronavirus. And then we had this $100 super chat for Andre Johnson. Thank you again so much. It says, this might sound like a joke, but I'm just going to be serious for a moment. I want to sincerely apologize to both of you for my Dark Phoenix donation request. I didn't want either of you or anyone to think that I was trying to push some kind of standard with this 1 out of 2. Did we get a follow-up from Andre yet? Let me just see. Yes. Standard with people getting special requests for certain donations. Let's all remember that donations should be out of showing our support for channels and people we love. Bless you both. Thank you, Andre. Really, really appreciate that. On the flip side, though, I'm not, if someone drops $100 and say, hey guys, watch this movie, that's not an issue for me, because that's, someone else did Flaming TP did that, later on, where he gave us the option, we had to watch Street Fighter. First of all, drunk commentaries are fun for us to do, as much as our livers suffer. They are fun for us to do. And you dropping a big super chat saying, hey, watch this movie, that lets me know someone out there is interested in watching it, in seeing us and having us do this commentary. So if there's interest, then I want to do it. It's the same thing if, a bunch of you in the chat, even without super chats, all said, if we got a bunch of tweets saying, watch this, do that, I don't want people to ever feel like they have to pay to play on my channel. But on the flip side, I also don't want people to feel bad about saying, hey, here's $100. Will you do this thing for $100? Yeah, sure. I've gotten big super chats before of like, hey, do this thing. No. If you're like, you should drop me $100 and you're like, take your shirt off, I'm going to say no. If you drop
the only time I would do that is if I had another shirt on and I was being an asshole.
Now, if you drop me $1,000, we can talk. No, I'm kidding. But I have no problem.
I wouldn't even recommend dropping $1,000 because YouTube gets 30% of that.
Exactly. So they want to do that, just PayPal that shit to me, which is an option, by the way. I do have a PayPal me account that's posted on my, you can find on my YouTube info and stuff. I've always put in my descriptions too. Not usually my streams, but of my. That just reminds me, I got to do something in here. So I forgot to, because I make the description in StreamYards and then I go back to edit it. So I at you in the description so people can link to your channel.
Henry Cavill asked you to take my top off. Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah.
It would depend on what underwear I'm wearing though, because if I'm wearing like an ugly bra, then I'm like,
yeah, fair enough.
Also depends on like what I ate or if I don't get sunburned, but I'm like, what am I wearing?
Like you. So you don't gain weight, you don't get sunburn.
Depends on where though, but if. And also, like, because I mean, if Henry Cavill asked me to take my top off, then I honestly would lose kind of respect for him at that point, unless
you were in the bedroom together, unless you were in a world where you were single, you were in the bedroom together, and he was sexily being like, "Hey, Anna, time to take your top off."
Okay, that's a different story. But right now, no. Then I would be like, all right, all of your attraction just disappeared.
Exactly. It was just like, "Hey, bitch, take your top off." I'd be like, okay, unless he's like drunk.
All right, you're a douche.
Unless he's like drunk at Mardi Gras or something. Then
I think one of the see, that's like the time and the place kind of thing. But honestly, it's like I think one of the things that it's like, yes, he's a very good looking man. Like his face is very handsome. He's got an amazing body that he works very hard to get. But I think also one of the charms about him is that he's a really good person and he's a nerd. And I think that's why it's like, oh my god, he's cute and he's a nerd and he's a nice person. It like makes him more attractive.
Oh yeah. And Jordan D'Ambrini, thank you for the additional super chat. Maybe came off too strong, got a little heated. My bad, lol. You have nothing to apologize for. Look, you're talking to two of the most heated people in our community, possibly on the internet. Like, you've seen us go. You never have to apologize for putting it out there, for being bold, being loud, be unapologetic, be abrasive, be obnoxious, speak your fucking mind. We do it. That's what we love to do. And we love when other people do it too. So A+, amen. Don't ever apologize for that. And thank you guys for your support and for your wonderful, wonderful, delightful super chats. And yeah, the final word on the super chats is like, if you can and you want to, awesome. When you do it, there's a request you want to make of us, whether it's a question or, something you want us to check out or a suggestion for things to do or to watch or to make a video on. Awesome. Don't ever feel shy about doing that. If it's something that we, that we'd like to check out, of course we want to do that and honor it. So don't ever feel shy about doing that. And also don't feel shy about just, not, one way or the other, and don't feel bad if you can't. I was sometimes they'll say things like, "Oh, I can't super chat," or like Mr. Another saying you won't be able to do it for a while. Don't ever feel bad about that. It is what it is. That's it id what it id. And that's all that matters.
That was too fast.
Fall out of the chair. So let's see. Tower Rise. We talked about that. We talked about how Gail Simone's a cunt and how Tom King is a fucking cunt too. So
no, I'm just like. the thing that baffles me, it's like if you have a problem with someone, okay, you have a direct way to contact them. You work for the same, you've done work for the same company.
Exactly.
Call them up and ask him. And also, I pulled this up because I'm like, before, right now I have, it happened 100% organically, and I'm very grateful for it. But it's like now I have the benefit of knowing a lot of amazing, talented comic book artists. But before, guess whose comic book I bought? Before I was even like, this is before YouTube, pre-YouTube. Before The Last Jedi, I think it was before The Last Jedi. I know I was living down here because my friends came to visit me, and we stopped by the comic book store because Batman's my favorite superhero. Selena Kyle's my favorite femme fatale from Batman. And it was the comic where Batman proposed to Selena Kyle, written by Tom King. I bought it because I wanted to see and how it finally happened. Like, oh, what's going on? Jesse, do you know what this comic book is about?
Is this the one where he leaves him at the altar or something? I know there's something.
No, that's the wedding one.
Okay.
Do you know what this is about?
What is it about, Anna?
It's about Batman standing on the roof talking to some other girl, crying about how he's afraid to be happy and crying about his fears. And then completely unrelated at the end, he takes off his mask with his back to Selena and proposes to her. But no, it's the majority of the book is him talking about how he can't be happy, and him crying. And I'm like, and I'm like, here's the thing. And I read it and I was like, what the fuck? Who the fuck? I was like, who else died? Like, who died again to make Batman this depressed? Because he's been dealing with depression and he came to terms with, his lot in life and how, the fear of being happy and how he sacrificed his own happiness for the greater good. That's part of how he became Batman. Was sacrificing his own personal wants and desires and happiness for the greater good. That's kind of his character arc, his origin story. So I'm like, why the fuck is he crying now? And I'm like, this is like Batman decades ago, not Batman right now. And so I'm like, who is this pussy? And it was Tom King.
Also, when did Batman become a fucking soap opera? If I buy a comic expecting stuff to happen in it, I'm gonna be pissed if it's Batman crying on a roof for a comic book. That's.
And it wasn't even to Selena. It's him crying on the roof about how he's afraid to fly or why he doesn't fly. It's him and this chick, Claire, and how she's like, you're a superhero. You have the technology to fly. Why don't you fly? And he's like, because I'm afraid to fly. And it's like. And then it's like, oh, you're going to be happy.
We watch you jump off buildings on the regular.
And I'm just like, but my thing, I'm like, but Batman does fly.
He does.
At times. He
jumps off buildings and uses the cape to glide. He's used the cape to glide. He's used parachutes. I would think that fucking base jumping in a city would be a little scarier than fucking flying.
And I'm just like, but I was just like, he does fly, and that was my thought process. And then when Tom King did that to Jay Lee, because if anyone doesn't know what exactly we're talking about, Jay Lee is an artist, and he did a variant, or he got paid. Somebody came up to him and said, "I will give you money if you draw this." And so he said, "Hey, I'm an artist. I work for money because I'm a freelance artist. You give me money so I can pay my bills and put food on the table. Okay, I draw you picture. You get money, I draw you picture. That's how it works." And he did that.
They don't care about exactly. They don't care about the politics involved. They don't care about all this stupid bullshit. They get paid to do a job.
And so Jay Lee did a job and he got paid for it. Didn't ask any questions. It's like, when you go to McDonald's and you order food and then you get food, you don't sit there and have a conversation with the person that's taking your order about their politics, about their favorite color, about what they do for fun on the weekends. You don't do. It's like, I want this, here money, I get this. And so there's one of those transactions. Funny how business works, right?
Yeah, you would never walk into fucking McDonald's and say, "Hey, who did you vote for in the last election?" "Oh, that one? Okay, I can't buy McDonald's. I can't
order my burger from you." But so basically, Ethan Van Sciver hired Jay Lee to do a cover for his book. And Jay did the cover and Ethan paid him for it. And Tom King, who works for DC, and they actually took him off writing Batman because he's so fucking terrible at it. And so Tom King, instead of contacting Jay Lee directly, because it's not like they don't work for the same fucking company, because they do. And he made a big stink about how Jay Lee did a variant cover for his what's his face, Rorschach book, and he said, that cover, I disavow that cover, I disavow Jay Lee, this is the actual cover. And it's like, it's a variant cover, nobody is required to buy a variant cover. And basically calling Jay Lee out, instead of having a private phone call, instead of calling DC and saying, hey, you know, give me Jay Lee's contact information, hey, I'm not okay with A, B, and C, instead of handling it like directly like a man, he decided to post about it on Twitter and cause all this drama. And then Jay Lee, not knowing about any of this because he's not on Twitter, which Tom King 100% knew when he did that, and sent the Twitter mob after him. Jay Lee and his wife, they had a little Boston Terrier that was their baby, and he passed away during having a surgery. And instead of being able to grieve with his wife, they're going to take their dog's ashes to the beach and to grieve with over, you know, the passing of their baby, essentially. He was getting harassed by the Twitter mob and getting phone calls from everyone that he's ever worked with. And so him and his wife didn't get that day to grieve because they were getting harassed by the mob. And then Tom King later on that day, like he posted the first tweet at 10 a.m. Second tweet was at 4:20 something p.m. saying, oh yeah, we're all good. I talked to Jay. We're all good. And Jay's like, we're not all good. Like, this is not okay, you know?
Fucking lynch mob after me when I'm trying to deal with my own personal fucking life. Also, maybe talk to me and understand that doing a goddamn job is not an endorsement of those people's politics. You know, just it's not everybody who shops at Hobby Lobby, you know, is pro-life. You know, not everyone who shops at a store where, you know, the CEO has endorsed one political candidate over another also endorses that candidate. It's just idiotic. It's so dumb. Not every family who pays me to teach their children fencing endorses my politics. That's like saying that. That's like saying, oh, if somebody takes a fencing lesson from me, they endorse my politics. No, it's ridiculous. It's absurd. You know, and you can sit there and try to claim, oh, well, you know, he has to be aware of that because oh, Jane, oh no. Jane just fell trying to get on the table. Come on, Jane, come over here. Don't be embarrassed. All the cats are fucking falling today or yesterday. You know, you can try to claim, oh, they can endorsement and it's legitimized. It's Ethan Van fucking Sciver. He is making more money on comic books right now than pretty much anyone else in the industry, independent or otherwise. He doesn't fucking. He got Jay Lee to do it because he's an artist he likes who could do cool art for his thing, not because he needed Jay's endorsement to succeed with Wreck Planet, not by a long shot. It's just, you know, Ethan loves art, loves comics, loves other artists, you know, has a great respect for a lot of other artists in the field and wants to work with them, wants to be associated with them just because he likes their art, you know, again, not because he endorses their politics or not. But apparently we're the only fucking people left in the world who can separate the idea of art, consuming media, buying things we like, and fucking politics. Not everything is fucking politics. I don't even look up. I don't even know the politics of most of these people. And I just don't care. It is not fucking important to me. Which by that token, well, first of all, by that token, Macy says, rants are what you two are all about. Love them. Exactly. So there you go. We love you, Macy. You are awesome. And by that, everyone who has Hulu should watch Palm Springs. Because it is a good movie, first of all. It's basically, and I say right in the thing, it's like, it's a modern telling of Groundhog Day, you know, so it uses that time loop idea of repeating the same day over and over again, but it definitely tackles it from a different angle. It does it in a new way. It's really interesting. Andy Samberg is the lead in it. I can't remember the name of the actress.
It's also a great episode of Xena where they have a time loop anyway.
There's a great, which episode?
It's an episode of Xena where there's a time loop and she's got a... Huh?
One of my favorite episodes, possibly my favorite episode of all time of Supernatural, has a time loop. So, yeah, it's fun. It's a fun thing to play with. It's a really fun thing to play with. And whatchamacallit.
Have you been to Palm Springs?
Once to work the film festival.
There's a film festival?
There's a Palm Springs Film Festival. It's a really cool one, actually. I really
want to go to the Cannes Film Festival if they ever have it again.
That would be fun to go to at one point. I do want to go to Sundance too.
Let's go, Jesse.
We should fucking do it. Let's make a film that we submit to it.
Wait, can we go without having a film there?
Yeah, you can go as just a person. I think it'd be even cooler to go as like, hey, we're filmmakers, or I'll make a film. Actually, if I made a film, I'd probably have you on board for some element of it, even if it was like designing.
I'll paint you the movie poster.
I say doing the movie poster or helping with some set design elements.
I should do like an artistic film where I just get a thing of oil paint and like I just film where I squeeze it and just it drip. And it's a metaphor for life.
It should be. Also, I could totally use you as background in the movie too, in whatever I made.
I'll just sit there petting Baby Yoda. Can Tulip be in it?
Of course.
Tulip will be in it. Tulip will be show.
The Tulip show. But yeah. No, it's a really fun movie. Andy Samberg, and no identity politics. No, none whatsoever. So I wonder if there's a subtle course correction going on where people are realizing, no, we don't want to be inundated and flooded. People looking at the world saying, this is everywhere. This is all over Twitter, all over the news, like all over this shit. We don't want to be inundated with this all the time. It's a very solid escapist kind of movie. It's a great, the way I described it to someone else was, this is like, all right, so it's the summertime and not everyone's people aren't going to the beach because of the virus and all that shit. So take the day where you were going to go to the beach, sit at home with a couple of beers and watch Palm Springs. It's a nice, like.
That being said, the beaches are open where I live.
They are.
I think
but yes, just drunk 3PO. You have no proof that you were never a mod because you are now. He's high on power because I just modded him. I wanted to 3PO, drunk 3PO. You should have been here earlier because we did have a few solid trolls. You totally could have taken out, but we've taken care of them already. And
guess what? They went. You didn't even have to block them. You just put them on timeout.
I did put them in timeout. I didn't even block them. They just haven't come. So if they come back drunk, you can totally bitch cock slap them. But they probably got bored after 5 minutes of not being able to bitch. Andre said my phone died. What did I miss? Lol. I don't know when your phone died, but
since you missed something, I will show. I got some new stuff in. For those of you that don't know, I kind of paint stuff sometimes. Like I paint and whatnot.
I'll give you the
let me see if I can find it. But I got new prints in. Oh, I'm all big.
You are.
Let me find it. I opened it. It's somewhere in here. Okay, that's not it. Watch, it's gonna be the last thing that I pull out of this damn box. God damn it. It is gonna be the last thing I pull out of the damn box. So I did a painting. Oh my god. So I did a painting a while back for somebody who's been a very big supporter of my channel. And actually, my PC was like from 2008, and it kept crashing and had no memory and all this stuff. So and this person wanted me to play KOTOR and all that. So I was like, okay, I'll try. So I had been filming it by pointing my phone at the TV and all of that. And people were like, this is terrible, Anna, you need to get a better setup. And so he actually built me a gaming PC, and so it's what I use now to do everything on, which is very kind of him. And I said, I'll paint you whatever you want. And so he requested that he wanted a painting of Qui-Gon, and so I finished the painting. The video will be done once I get it back. I dropped it off to get framed, and so it's getting framed now. It should be done, I think, in a few days. They said August 2nd or 3rd is what they quoted me. Before I dropped it off, I took a picture of it and I ordered prints. And surprisingly, the prints weren't supposed to come in for another week, but I guess Vistaprint wasn't getting a lot of orders.
Yeah.
And so I have the print for it.
Ooh, that looks really, really good.
It's going to be available on my Etsy. For some reason, I feel like I have to bend it, but I'll post a picture of it. But so it's like, these are the prints that I sell on Etsy. And so I got my print of Qui-Gon. So yeah, I did a painting of Qui-Gon.
I love the way you do your light and shadow in your paintings. And I love the way you like always have a really really distinct color tone to it too.
Thank you. I love playing with color. And one of the things that is good about doing different colors is because if you are looking at a photo reference from the movie, if you change the colors, it doesn't get picked up when you try to do, and that you have to change it enough so it's fan art, because it is legal to do fan art. They lifted like the laws against it back in 2013.
Oh, neat.
So you can, sell fan art. That's when you go to like Comic-Cons and like, obviously people don't own the rights like the Disney princesses, but people all the time do fan art of Disney princesses, and you can make a profit off of it. And so when it's like a character you don't own the IP, that's how it kind of works for people that want to throw temper tantrums about it. But so I love working with color. So I'm like, this is super convenient. So I just changed up the color a little bit. So I just intensified the green because he's got his lightsaber ignited, and I like portraiture. So this is Qui-Gon.
You really you always capture so much emotion in your portraits too. Like you see some portrait artists that are really technically good, and it's like, yeah, perfect in this and that, but they just don't get like the soul, I guess is how I've heard people say it before. You always capture the soul of your subjects.
Thank you. There's a trick to that.
Mm-hmm.
You make the expression yourself, and whatever emotion you want to feel, you do it in your eyes. And then once you know how to draw, and you know how, to like, it's like if I only saw half of your face, I could draw the other half of your face without seeing your face. It's like if I'm like this and I can see my ear, but then I need to draw straight on. It's like, well, if you see one, you know what the other one looks like, so you know how to emulate it. So it's if you make the emotion yourself and then you put it into your drawing, and I know how his features are, so I just make that emotion with it. But thank you.
Really neat.
You want to see one more thing? One more thing?
Of course.
This one I'm almost done with.
That one looks really cool too.
You haven't played this game, so you don't know who this character is, but he's awesome.
You told me about it. No, I'm excited.
But yeah.
Ooh, speaking of games, this is fun. Jeff's making a video on this right now.
So this is going to be available on my Etsy in a few hours, just so everyone knows. I should actually just put that up now. But yeah.
So if you do love the Qui-Gon print, check out Anna's Etsy, and you can get it for your own. Apparently, Brie said that she wants to play Samus in a Metroid movie.
Oh, I saw people saying that, and people were losing their mind saying no.
No, thank you. Samus has a figure, for one thing. Samus got curves. Also, Samus is cool, and Brie's not. She needs to stop. You gotta like. This is one of the things they talk about, like when you go through acting training and branding and stuff like that. You figure out what you can play, like what you can do. Like I think it would be really fun to be in a Mean Girls like movie playing a Regina George character. I would never, ever in a million years get cast in that role. I will never get cast as like the cutesy chick flick lead. I will never play that role. As fun as it would be, as fun as I think it would be to be in a chick flick, in a million years, no one would ever, think to put me in that role, but action hero, absolutely. Someone, Samus, Samus right here. George Turner, harsh, but I like it. John Farmer says Samus got a big old butt. Accurate, and so do I. So perfect. Yeah, you could easily see me as an action lead, though, right? Totally, that would be my a niche that I could easily fill. And that's the thing, you just got to know your brand. She does not. She's like, I want to be a Jedi, and I want to be a superhero, and I want to be this. You ain't, bitch. You're a scrawny little nothing burger with no stage pres, like with no gravitas in your physical presence. It's not about size or shape even. It's just about the way someone stands in a room, the way someone holds their body and conducts himself and commands a screen or an audience. And she just doesn't, I don't even think that she's necessarily a bad actor. I just think that she's not playing like if you go and watch Room, it's like Emilia Clarke too. Emilia Clarke has a very limited range. She is really good if she's working within her parameters. Like someone was saying in my stream yesterday, like, oh, let's cast Emilia Clarke to replace Amber Heard as Mira. And I'm like, I could see that,
Oh, yeah. But yeah, I think that's perfect. And what's funny is everyone would love it because she finally gets the justice that she deserves from what they did to her.
Yeah.
It is so hot in here.
I was on a podcast yesterday. I had to do it from the bathroom because it was the same time as the High Council, except they do it on video now too. So I'm like sitting there sweating my ass off. My background is my bathroom, and that's great. But yeah, Black and a Half, the podcast. I'm on the episode that dropped today, so it's exciting.
I've never done this with a pencil, but I don't have any hair ties.
That's exciting. I've seen people do it. I've never had enough hair to even conceive of it. So.
Ow. Well, it hurts, but.
Someone said Brie Larson should do porn. I mean, there is the Captain Marvel porn parody. Obviously, she does not play Captain Twelve Waffle in it, but
she does not.
Yeah, you know, you can go back and find, you know, some of her older stuff, some of her younger stuff. Like when she does the season, what people are saying, they like Brie in Kong Skull Island. I've heard that. I've heard she's totally fine in that role. I like her in Scott Pilgrim. I think she's perfectly good. She's even perfect in Sleepover because she plays the catty bitch. She's the queen bee, you know, bitch in that movie from way back. Like that works for you want to make that's the whole thing. Like you want to make a Mean Girls type movie. I could definitely see Brie Larson as Regina George. I don't see her as Captain Twatwaffle. So that's just
I like that. That's if
no Alejandro Cervantes. There's no. I talk about things like if I got cast in a Disney Star Wars movie, I'd still probably take the role just for the career and this and that. No amount of money could ever make me touch cats. No amount. I would never ever do anything performative for any rendition of Cats unless it is parody.
You don't like Cats?
The show / movie? No,
I've never seen it.
I only saw it once on Christmas, and I may or may not have been stoned out of my mind. I will neither confirm nor deny. But yeah, it's I could play Bounty. Absolutely, Lord Vader. I totally could. You want to make the female Mandalorian? But yeah, that's know your brand, you know, and it's just like, yeah, well, it's a fun idea to want to play all these fun roles and cool stuff. Know your brand, know what you're good at, know what you're not. You know, she's gonna have a lot more success if she. I think it's just the superhero craze and this that. It's like, and I don't know how much it is her agents saying, yeah, let's put you in these because they make a lot of money, or it's first like these are the types of movies I want to do. But know your fucking brand. It's just simple. What about a remake of Street Fighter? I could be convinced. I could be convinced to be a remake of Street Fighter. As long as there's actually fighting on streets. Because we did Drunk Street Fighter a few weeks ago, and that's my number one complaint about that movie. At no point, there's a lot of fighting, and there are streets. At no point do people fight on the
street.
It's like, why? I feel so, like, talking about clickbait, I feel so lied to. I feel so betrayed by this. It was hurtful. I needed those drinks to, I needed to calm my soul. I could it would not be a stretch at all, Macy, for me to play a fencer. You are correct. You are correct. So I know there was something else we did want to talk about, and I'm trying to remember what it was.
I'm over here like trying to make a I'm gonna put this on my Etsy, but to do it, I have to do watermarks. I'm making watermarks right now.
Fair enough. Well, carry on. Let's see what. Any updates on Ray Park? Did you hear about the Ray Park thing?
Unfortunately, I had to EFAP that porn. If you want to believe that or not. Here's my stance on it. Because if everyone that watched that damn stream knows, here's my thing, Jesse. I did not wake up that morning thinking, me and Cecil are going to watch the same porn today. And we did, because they said, Anna, you're that Star Wars girl. You need to tell us if that's his penis or not. Because apparently he's Scottish. And as we know, usually if you're not from America, you are either cut or not cut. And I had to go and watch it and see if the penis in question was his or not, and if it was circumcised or not. It was definitely circumcised, so but we don't know if it's his or not. Yeah. Just in case anyone wanted to know.
I have not seen Ray Park's dick, and I'm very glad.
We don't know if it's his or not.
I've not seen the dick that is purportedly belongs to Ray Park.
Does it have a Darth Maul tattoo on it?
It does not.
Does it have horns on it?
No.
Then I'm not interested.
And it's not red or black.
Ray Park is.
If it was black, I think it might have fallen off.
Ray Park is a bully. Ray Park. I'm not bully. Maybe unhinged. Nice to me. Definitely. He definitely. This is not the first like weird. Wasn't supposedly his account got hacked the last time there was some shit about him, but it wasn't like clear if it was him or not posting. He does strike me as like vaguely unhinged. Apparently, Lucasfilm has said the rumor. I don't know if it's an official statement, but it says that according to the interwebs, Disney is going to recast Darth Maul.
Really?
Yeah,
Because so apparently it's like his wife was cheating on him with the kid that played young Boba Fett. And so he posted this as like revenge to her, saying, fuck this bitch, like I'm gonna post and I was like, but it happened like the same day that he got that they announced that they're doing Darth Maul show, you know?
Yeah, it's why would they do it? Anyway, so we've got comic book movie, says rumor mill, Lucasfilm doing for without Ray Park. We got this covered, Disney reportedly recasting. Epic stream, Disney allegedly willing to replace Ray Park. So nothing's been decided, but it definitely, now the Sun, was Ray Park's Instagram hacked, and why is the Star Wars actor trending? Yeah, because something like this popped up before. I don't know. I'm not entirely sure. I haven't, delved too deep into it, so I'm not entirely sure what to think about all of it. I always think it is a little fucked up when people, want to go on that revenge kick. But
well, I'm just like, why would you do it right after your show got announced?
Right, unless you're that unhinged that you're like so lost in your, being cheated up. People do nutso things after they find out they've been cheated on and whatnot. I mean, all of Silver Linings Playbook is kind of about that. So,
I love that movie.
Great movie. Jeff has never seen it.
Really?
Jeff has never seen it. No, we are going to watch it though. So,
Are we?
We are at some point. You said you'd be willing to watch
We
it.
have to watch Street Fighter again first.
No, we don't. We actually don't.
I know.
Shadow Dice Gaming says, "Lol, Jeff is funny as heck." Jeff, do YouTube a favor and start a channel.
One day.
One day.
Maybe.
If only we could be lucky. We could be so lucky.
I can guarantee 100% less penis than Ray Park.
Yes, have you guys heard that? 100. You have a 100% less penis guarantee, so you will get 0 penis on Jeff's channel.
Unless you guys want it, then join our OnlyFans. WCBS.
You guys should start. How funny it would be if you guys started OnlyFans with just naked pictures of you and the guys.
I would be willing to start an OnlyFans account where it's just like people wear like naked women wearing T-shirts with us, like they'd be partially naked. That's as far as I take it.
That's
or
fair.
Nick would do it.
I think you should start a WCBS OnlyFans, but not tell anybody that it's just Nick, and then people go on it and are like, "What the fuck? Who is this naked?" That would be so. And it's not even women; it's just Nick naked, like touching himself. That would be amazing. Oh my god! One in the chat if you want this. If you want a one in the chat if you want to see. If you want a WCBS OnlyFans in which Nick does inappropriate things and eats.
I feel like everyone's just gonna say yes at that point.
Probably.
Just
I mean,
I
will never watch it because I would never be able to look Nick in the eye again.
Yeah, I don't.
I guess I have a stake in this because Nick is a person that I will have to interact with and meet in the future again. Because he is.
I was gonna say you've met Nick. I've met Nick.
I've met him. I have met. I like him. We're friends. But I'm saying like I will in the future post in this theoretical OnlyFans. We'll have to interact with them again and would not like this to me here. Let's see. Shadow Dice Gaming says, "I'll be the first to subscribe. Trust me." But other than that, we're getting a lot of 2s. So maybe not. Let's see. Andre Johnson says, "Hey, is there a reason my $100 super chat is showing up twice? Just to make sure I wasn't charged twice. I'm not that rich. It is not showing up twice on my end. It only showed up once on my end. So I will go back and check in here. It only showed up once on my end, just the $100 one and the $20 super of $20 follow up. So if it is showing up twice on your end, obviously just double check your bank statement. But it on my end, it is only registered on my end twice. Interestingly, though, this is gonna be interesting. If for some reason it does show up twice on your bank statement, please let me know because I'm only getting paid once for it. That would kind of go into Anna's theory. And that's the thing too. Just for redundancy's sake, those of you who have sent super chats, just for as an interesting thought experiment, double check your credit card statements. Once this charge goes through, and be sure. I know some people are pretty assiduous about it, and some of them aren't. But just check. Get into a habit maybe of checking after you've super chatted for someone's stream the next day to see who. To just be sure, first of all, be sure that you were charged correctly. And it would be really interesting to find out, they double charged Andre, but I only got paid once. So where did the rest of that money go, YouTube? But yes, it only showed up once on my end, so you should be in the clear. Who is Nick? Nick is one of the members of Class Bullshitters, Victor, which is Jeff's channel. Jeff being my boyfriend. So, this would be a fun cosplay for us to do.
Anna, can you play Ahsoka? And Jesse, can you play the Mandalorian? I'm tired. I did the Ahsoka. What you want?
I could play the Mandalorian, and I have a little Yoda hat for my cats. I'll put it on one of my cats, and he can be Baby Yoda. I want to see if I can find the cutest picture ever of Lando. Oh yes, here's the. I can. All right, let me. This is one of the cutest pictures I've ever taken. So Lando does this thing where he thinks by being cute. Yeah, for those who don't know, my cats' names are Han, Lando, and originally Mal and Jane are the littles, but it's now Jane and Chippy. But the cutest picture ever. Oh, why can't I figure out how to? Okay, there we go. It's like, why am I retarded today?
I'm trying to get this up right now, so that way.
Lando was very. Did you see this though? You have to see this.
Oh, so cute.
I know. So Lando uses cuteness to try to, like, when he thinks he's about to be tortured, to try to get out of torture. Like this. This is torture. So he makes that face, the big wide glassy eyes when he.
What are you doing, mommy?
He's like, "Can you stop, please? It hurts." Yes. Yeah, Shadow War Shadow was referring to Anna's theory of Google's creative bookkeeping. Correct. But yes, so that's Lando. He's so cute. So yeah, there's gonna be my little Mandalorian right there. My little Baby Yoda to my Mandalorian. It'll be perfect. And then there's your pancake behind us. Trust him, he's a scientist.
It says that I need to do something before publishing this, but I can't find it. Let's try. Publish.
Wow.
Yay!
Yeah. Did it work?
Yes.
Is it up?
Yeah, it's up. If you guys want to buy the print and go look at my Etsy, here is the link. You guys can check it out. I want to check and see if it works. Yay! Let's see it live. Whoa, that's cool.
Did you post the link in the chat?
I did.
It hasn't shown up yet. Why didn't it show up? It's not showing up on my end. So sometimes, there it is. It did come through, at least over there. I think we might just be a little behind. The StreamYard's chat's a little behind because it showed up in the YouTube window along with the super chat from Flaming TP, but my StreamYard's chat is lagging.
There is one person that they posted a weird review, and I'm just like, it says everything in the description, but these are matte, and the reason they're matte and they're postcards and they're thicker stock, but the reason why they're matte, because somebody's like, it's on cardboard. I'm like, no, it's on card stock, which it says in the description. But one of the things why I get it matte is because you can see the colors better as compared to gloss, and gloss, it's easier to damage.
Gotcha.
Disclaimer right there for people that don't like to read the description. But yeah, it's there. It's there if anyone wants to check it out and check out my Etsy.
Shadow Dice Gaming says Lando is getting a show. No, he's not. I know they made that announcement, but no, he's not. Not happening. Sorry. Or did they actually make an announcement, or was it just a rumor? I think it was just a rumor. It's just a rumor. Yeah, it's not happening. One of the best reasons I saw for that was just Donald Glover's life right now. You know, the other projects he has going on. He's very involved in producing Atlanta. He's and does he write for it still too? And he's he's got Childish Gambino and locking yourself. A lot of actors in his position, who are kind of stars on the rise, if you will, don't like to lock themselves into series regulars because it's a big time suck. It's a big time suck. And a lot of actors don't want to do that because it means if they sign on to do this show and it does well and they want to do 5 seasons of it and whatnot, it limits their opportunities to do things like feature films or other shows and whatnot. Mm-hmm. And I realistically don't think he has time to be a series lead, especially with working so intensely on Atlanta to be a series lead on both shows. I just don't think he has the time for that. But what do I know? Just things and stuff. Flaming TP says, as much as I like being a big F, I need a YouTube avatar. How much do I have to pay Anna for one?
Sorry, what?
How much would you charge if someone wanted you to design their avatar for YouTube?
It depends on what you want.
What
Actually,
else?
I would honestly recommend my friend Sav. She's got a lot more time on her hands than I do, because you would have to wait a really long time for me to have time to do that. But it depends. Like, if you want something like this, that's going to take a long ass time. It's also going to be very expensive. If you want like a drawing, like just a quick like digital drawing, that's obviously going to be cheaper. But I would recommend my friend Sav. She's on Twitter.
Awesome. And I know Jeff is willing to do commissions. I know Flaming TP does have a small crush on you, so that he probably wants he's been wanting your art for a while.
Gotcha.
Macy says, "Me gone. Have a great rest of the day." Thanks, Macy. Thank you for being here. And thank you for being part of the show. A great audience member. James Hancock asked if is it James Hancock asked? Oh yeah, will Jeff guest star at times? Not usually in the Matriarchy because he's not a woman. We still haven't discussed. We've been really just enjoying the two of us. We haven't even discussed guests at all. So I mean, if we did eventually do guests, I don't think we'd limit it to just women. But same way the High Council was 3 dudes and didn't.
I had Cecil. I told Cecil he could come on, but he had to wear a wig.
Yes. All right.
So I said, if you're a boy and you come on, you have to wear a wig. That's my only requirement.
That should be our requirement. If you come on as a guy, you either have to wear a wig or makeup.
Oh yes, lipstick. You have to wear bright red lipstick.
Bright red lipstick or a wig. I have a blue wig, so if Jeff was willing to wear it, then we can have Jeff on as a guest.
Next week.
There you go. Jeff says he'll be on. Can you believe this is already our 12th episode?
I know, you told me that last night, and I was like, oh my god,
mind blown. I'm like, this is nuts. I love it. It's great. It feels great too, because it feels like we're settling into a rhythm a little bit. We were only like half an hour late today, and stuff like that.
To be fair, we were talking off air.
That's true. We are a lot of times. What you guys don't know is we oftentimes are ready to go way more on time than we're supposed to be, but we end up getting into stuff because we'll go over our list of like, here's our topics, and then we'll also get into like, ooh, here's the tea that we can't talk about on air, and then we'll get into just like personal stuff and how are you and just going off and shit, and then like, oh, our show started 30 minutes ago, we should probably see to that.
We should probably talk about it. But then today I was hardcore venting because I had a shitty day today.
Yeah, it happens. Do you actually? We did say we'd give you a we did say you could totally let it out if you want to bitch about it.
No, it's just, I mean, I think I kind of talked about it before, but it's just, I'm dealing with car trouble, and I felt like I was about this big, and like, when you just walk in a room and everyone is just judging you, and I just felt like that, and I'm just like, I hate this.
Yeah.
So it's just a shitty day, but yeah.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I hate that. It is just like leaves such a bad taste in your mouth for the whole, like, it's just like you said, it makes you feel this big, and you sit in it, you kind of end up stuck in this feeling of like, I don't know. I'm just not articulating effectively, but it sits on you, like it sits on your chest, and you just have this like icky feeling for the day when shit like that happens, and it sucks. So, everyone tell Anna how big she is, so she'll feel better.
I know I'm little, but it's just like, it's like when people, here's a perfect, if you guys ever watch Pretty Woman, and when she walks in the store and the lady treats her like shit because, like, I showed up in a Goonies t-shirt and tennis shoes, but I'm like, you don't have to treat me this way because I look like this. If I wanted to get dressed up, I could. I just don't feel like doing that for to deal with my car,
Exactly. Speaking of size, though, I want to show you guys this. If I can, I gotta do it like because have you ever been to a national park?
Sorry, you're roboting for me.
Sorry.
What?
Have you ever been to Sequoia National Park?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, with the big trees. And so one of the things about it, it's very hard to take a picture that really illustrates the massiveness of them. Because you try to do a lot of times you try to get a perspective, and it's just very difficult to really understand how ridiculously gigantic these effing trees are. And we were there. Jeff had never been. I've been once before. We were there, and I finally got a shot that I think delightful.
When did you go?
Monday. We were there on Monday. So we went up. I had a friend who's one of my best friends from college was moving. She was out here for grad school, but they're going to be online. They've already committed to being online next year. So she is just going to move back to New York and do her online coursework from there because she didn't really want to be out here. So we drove up to see her, and then we stopped through Sequoia on the way back. And y'all know how big Jeff is. That's how big this tree is.
That big tree.
A big fucking tree. It's really beautiful though. It's the kind of thing, like, I know some people are saying this, some people are not. If you can right now, when the world is broken and there's not a whole lot of shit to do, go into nature, go into places like this. It's quiet, it's peaceful, it's relaxing. You get away from the politics and the bullshit and the this and the that. It's, you get shit like this, incredible shit like this, which, like, it's hard, even when you're staring right at them like this, it's hard to really fathom the magnitude of these things, It's pretty. So yeah, that's us and trees. Us and trees. There's my scientist cat. Oh yeah, plug for Cat. I'm gonna get his channel going real soon, but Shit Pancake. At Shit Pancake on John Farmer, you're not wrong. Sequoia National Park is actually Kashyyyk. One of the first things Jeff said when we were looking at these trees and looking up at it is he's like, it doesn't look real. I'm like, yeah, it looks like a movie prop. It looks like something you'd have in, like, for tree dwelling peoples. And he immediately goes, yeah, like Kashyyyk. So it really, yeah, I think it's a great description if you're
walking. Like Muir Woods in Marin County where, it could, not Kashyyyk, but, we're indoor.
Yeah. And there are parts of, because there are a lot of, sequoias giant sequoias are technically in the redwood family. So that reddish bark too. So there are parts of sequoia where it does look, whatchamacallit, it does, why can't I words? It does look like that. But anyway, I was really excited to go to National Park because I got my interagency pass again, which is, for $80, you get a pass that lets you into all of America's national parks, and it's totally worth it. Totally worth it. Lord Vader, if they made a Chewbacca Disney Plus show, I would want it to be like his shit in the holiday, the Wookiee stuff in the holiday special, where it's just like no subtitles. It's just like a sitcom about Wookiees living in Kashyyyk without subtitles. I think it'd be hilarious.
They did a really good segment of Kashyyyk and KOTOR.
Yeah.
So you get to learn a lot about Kashyyyk and, like, you get to go explore, like, the ground of Kashyyyk, and you get to go do all these cool things.
That's really yeah. I always think it's really interesting with a race like Wookiees when you have something it's very, and to an extent with the Ewoks, so we all know they're the marketing gimmick, but a race that's like very primitive looking, primitive seeming in certain elements, but is very advanced in other ways. The Ewoks not so much in Kashyyyk. I think with the architecture of how they build their world, the weaponry that they use, they're not a primitive race. At all. They're just a very more animalistic, sort of at one with nature kind of creature that's still, sentient and humanoid in certain ways. Anthropomorphic.
They're very violent also, but it's a very tribe-based society.
Yeah, which is an interesting study to do. Like, that's if I made a serious, Chewbacca series or a serious show about Kashyyyk, I would use that a lot. I'd lean into that. I would lean into the tribal nature, the warlike tribal nature to create those, the subtext and the parallels to today's tribalistic society. I think we've lost allegory in our storytelling. I think we need stories like that, where you, where we get back into allegory, where we tell things in a fantasy setting, in an unrealistic setting, that where even if you don't, and you shouldn't see it on the surface, you shouldn't look at it and immediately be able to look at it and go, oh, that's just like life. You should look at it and feel that on a visceral level because the parallels are there. It shouldn't be this overt, let's make this obvious commentary on what's happening. Like, you should be able to just lean into that setting, lean into that world, but have those universal themes be present in it. Seth Theriot, Seth Theriot, Tunisia is Tatooine. Well, yes, indeed. I think it's really neat. I've never been to Tunisia, but I have been to some parts of Death Valley where they shoot some of the additional Tatooine shots. It's so cool to be in that environment and be like, this is it. It's physically here. You know, it's one thing to be in sets and things that are built. Like Hobbiton's really cool.
I want to go to Hobbiton so bad.
So great. But then also just being in the land, like part of being in Hobbiton is not just the hobbit holes they built, but seeing the party tree and the lake, which are it's just a tree and a lake that's there. That's so iconic in our minds now. And specifically, Peter Jackson picked that location because the party tree was there. It was a nice hilly place. It was just in somebody's private sheep farm. And he found this party tree next to the lake. And he was like, that's it. Although the lake is full of eels. So you have to be careful. But the coolest part for me about going through a lot of the Lord of the Rings sets, and then on my flight back, I watched Fellowship of the Ring. And the coolest part for me wasn't even being there, as great as that was. Whatchamacallit. Who's a what's-his? I just let my train of thought just died in my brain. Oh yeah, being there is awesome and great and wonderful, but then you go back and watch the movie and you're like, I was there, I was standing right there, and it's so cool. Like one of my favorite pictures that I have from Hobbit is the lane where Gandalf is riding his. I can just pull this up in a second and show it to you because it's just like it just looks. I got like chills being there. I get chills even just going back and looking at the picture. Because it just feels like you're right there in the movie. And it's just some of these things like go. And that's the thing, if you're a nerd too, you know, going out in nature is proven good for you.
It is. It's so nice to just unwind. Like when I was out of town for 4th of July, it was so nice being up in the mountains and like it's beautiful. And I'm like, it really puts more into perspective that the internet, because I spend, you know, obviously I've always worked from home. So it's like,
exactly.
Wow, there's a world out there, you know. Get into it.
I like how this is already open to my freaking New Zealand pictures because that's all I care about, obviously. I opened my photo immediately. I'm on my New Zealand pictures. What'd you say?
I want to go so bad.
It's amazing. I love it there. I want to go back so bad. Here's the picture I want to show you guys. What was I gonna say? Yeah, so like for nerds too, where it's like, oh yeah, nature and this and that. Like people are always like, well, we're just penguins, we never go outside and whatnot. Like, yeah, we fucking do. And one of the cool things is that, like, if you're gonna go out in the world, go find a place, you know, go find a set from one of your favorite movies, somewhere you can go and just be in that because it's so fun and magical to see some of these places. So this is the picture. So if you've seen Lord of the Rings, you know exactly, you know, that it's where he pulls up the cart and Frodo comes running from the top. You're late. The wizard is never late. And it's just like, it's there. That's it. And I think something about this too, it's like a little bit of both. So it's the nature and the built stuff, which is why I think what Hobbit is so fun too, is a lot of the, you know, the Hobbit holes are like that, but they're more built, you know, with the doors and the fences and this. And this is just a rock wall and a paved path, you know, but it's so
magical because you see it and you know exactly what happened at that moment, you know?
Exactly. It just feels so good, you know, looking at that. It's just really nice. It just makes, whoops, not who I meant to remember. I pulled you. I meant to take that away. But yes. Exactly. A wizard is never late, Jesse Milestone, nor is he early. Here's precisely what he means to.
Yep.
Someone said that, someone said immediately on my stream. Wow. One of those streams I was late to, I think it was last night. It was super late. They're like, oh, did you arrive precisely when you meant to, Jesse? I'm like, damn right I did. You're damn right.
Heck yeah.
So, Flaming DB says, I have to request from Anna because I'm banned from Twitter. I'll shoot you an email, Anna. You know, he'll let you know a little more what he's looking for in case you can do it. Don't listen to Jessie. My crush is her Hermione-haired coworker. 10 points to Gryffindor.
10 points to Gryffindor.
But he does think you're pretty. I know that because he says
so. Thank you. Tell my mommy.
He said so in the chat before. But yeah. Oh, Author Stephen Walton is a lurking and working. Hail the chat, smash the like, do what he says, and buy all of his books. My chapter will be in the second edition, which is coming out very soon, I believe. So do that. The first one is out. And then, yes. And then Jeff actually is going to be contributing to the third volume, I believe. So it's it's interesting. Someone asked me earlier in the chat. They were like, "Jesse, do you eat pork?" My whole chat was about kind of my relationship of being Jewish with the rest of these things. No, I don't keep kosher. People want to know that a lot because people say I'm Jewish and I practice certain elements of Judaism. Oh, are you kosher? Fuck no. I love bacon. Bacon's delicious. I couldn't live without it. I could never be kosher. I love bacon. One of my favorite foods of all time is the Philly cheesesteak, which is not kosher because it's mixing meat and milk. So he was smoke. I love like the stoner jokes they make like when Saruman's like, your love of the halfling's leaf has clearly slowed your mind. I'm like, he just called Gandalf a stoner. It's great. I love it. Speaking of, well, I won't say that. I won't publicly. I'll tell you, Hannah, though, because it's funny. Okay. YTP gets never got casted as Bilbo. Well, it'll be Frodo in this instance. He arrives precisely what he means to me. You fucking liar. You wouldn't just giggle along with Gandalf? I would. James Hancock could not agree more. Camping is therapy. It's so true. It's so nice. I'm really excited for this weekend. We're not camping. You could almost call it glamping. Jeff and I want to do something exciting for our first anniversary. Oh no, Andre Johnson, did I miss your super chat? I'll go back and find it because I'm so sorry. The StreamYard chat's being really weird and laggy. So it's like it's stopping and then it's catching it really, really quickly, and I'm like, it's catching me up. So I'm missing some. I'm sorry about that, Andre Johnson. He says, Anna, you are a great person.
Oh, thank you.
You are. And he specifically said, hey Jesse, I think you missed my last super chat. Lol. I want Anna to see it to cheer her up after a bad day. It happens to the best of us. Andre, you are so sweet. You are just such a nice, sweet, wonderful dude. You guys don't know how much this stuff means to us. Like for all we don't give a crap about the haters. Those of you who go out of your way to cheer us up when we're having a bad day or to compliment us or say nice things. We are still human beings, and we have feelings like regular people. And when people say nice things, and we go through anxiety, we go through self-doubt, we go through all these bad days and all that stuff. And when you guys do say these nice things to us,
hey,
it helps. What's up?
My first video of me reacting to Henry Cavill building a PC passed 100,000 views.
Woo! Congrats!
It's not monetized though, so I didn't make any money off of it, but it did it.
But that's awesome. It's still a great metric.
People like watching me drool over a sexy man.
Mm-hmm. Oh God!
Thank you everyone for the views. I appreciate it.
I liked how it was like at least once, maybe twice, maybe both times because didn't I stream with you at your house more than once?
Yeah,
twice. That's what I thought. I think both times we devolved at one point for like a solid half hour to hour of just talking about sexy men that we find attractive. Oh God, I want to be able to monetize drooling over attractive men.
It's nice.
I usually don't talk about a lot of them though. I don't like spend time on my streams doing it because Jeff is literally in the room, and I'm like, yeah, it's one thing to do it when he's not here, but.
Oh no, I'll still do it when Peaches is here. Like I'm just like, ooh, Henry Cavill, and he like just looks at me, and I'm just like, but babe, you I'm like, here's a picture of Penelope Cruz, and he's like, oh, okay.
We there you go. We did have that though. With when we did this, we were workshopping our script treatment of what was it? The Death Wiener. So I've done the Mad Libs on my channel. I've been doing the Mad Libs. In the Star Wars one, the Death Wiener became a thing, and so we decided to write a horror movie about the Death Wiener, and it's unclear as to whether it's a hot dog or a penis. And so we were doing a live stream, a ridiculous live stream, drafting this, like workshopping it. We were a little drunk too, so when I read the notes later, they made no fucking sense. We got to a point where we're like, we're gonna cast Jensen Ackles in this. But part of his contract, my friend Kelly was on the stream with us, part of his contract would be that he has to make out with Kelly. And I'm like, well, I want to make out with Jensen Ackles too. So we had Jensen Ackles, he had to make out with Kelly and me. And then Jeff's like, I'm not okay with this unless we also cast Alexandra Daddario and I get to make out with her. So Alexandra Daddario, she's usually like a supporting actress. She's just a lot of fluffier stuff, but she's got like a really nice figure.
What is she in?
She was in the wasn't she in the Baywatch movie?
Yeah, she was the.
You act as if I've seen that.
It's so funny.
What does she look like?
She's brunette and stuff. Here, let me pull up.
Oh, is it the chick with blue eyes and really big boobs?
Yes, I think so. Yeah, that's right, isn't
She
it?
has a very like small forehead, but and brown hair, big blue eyes and big boobs.
Yes, I do think her eyes are really pretty, actually. So, all right, let me see. I'll share in case people don't know. I mean, obviously, y'all have the internet too. And obviously, everyone has the internet and therefore could easily do this, but for the sake of convenience.
Yeah. Blue eyes, big boobs.
Blue eyes, big boobs. So that's Jeff's big busty fantasy, since I don't have as big of a rack. But there's I do think she has really, really pretty eyes, though. That's tis nice. All right, there's Alexandra Dario. So those are we've joked about our cheat card, like what what do they call it? Your get out of jail free card or whatnot, or your dance card list and like whatever.
Your free pass.
Your free pass, exactly.
Yeah, see, Peaches, his number one. It's funny because both of our number ones look like each other. So my number one, well, they're getting old now, but it's like my number one has always been Antonio Banderas, and then his number one is always Penelope Cruz, and then
so funny.
Well, I didn't think that I looked like Penelope Cruz, but then I said that to John, and he was just like, "Oh, that mousy looking girl," and he's like, "Wait, no, that makes sense." I was like, "Why?" And he's like, "I guess I look like Penelope Cruz." I'm like, "Oh, that was very flattering," but yeah, and Peaches, he looks more like Keanu Reeves, but
yeah.
But I mean, he doesn't get bothered by it because I'm like, I live with you, you know.
Obviously, I have chosen you.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm not
I
banging.
think you're kind of schmexy.
Obviously, I'm not banging Henry Cavill, but
No, and Henry Cavill has those cursed blue eyes, but no, nobody's perfect.
True that. I do like blue eyes sometimes, but Jeff's eyes are gorgeous too, though. They're just like very rich and deep and like kind. Jeff has very kind eyes. You just like melt into this nice little chocolate pool. It's great. Anyway. Oh, thanks, McFrozen Nuggets.
What do you say?
He said, both your smiles together are cute. I tried to highlight it, but my chat's being weird. Here it is.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. We have covered our topics, and I got on both of Andre Johnson's, and we're caught up on Super Chats, and we are at our 2-hour mark. We just went 2 hours and 5 minutes, so that's kind of perfect. So we'll call it. I think it was another great episode. It was great, to have everybody here. It was great to see everybody. Obviously, for some reason not subscribed to Anna, that Star Wars girl, you should definitely do that. What are you doing with your life?
Check out my Etsy.
Oh, definitely check out our Etsy. Pick up Qui-Gon. Make sure you follow @ShipPancake on Twitter because he's my cat. And he's really cute and he posts adorable things. He put his picture, his last tweet, last thing I'll share and then we'll be done. His last tweet, which I think is a little presumptuous of him, that he's only he doesn't even have 50 followers yet, and he's already soliciting endorsements, which are it's not another time. But let's see, Ship Pancake. This was him yesterday.
Let me see. I have the regular thing up, not the
Pancake. Just proudly enjoy a nice cold beverage. Starbucks maybe time for a brand new brand ambassador. I'm talking about me, of course. So that's the Ship Pancake voice. And Ship Pancake with his little beverage, his little.
That's so cute. What is it?
What was that? It's the guava passion fruit coconut milk drink.
Oh,
which
gross.
Does not have caffeine in it, but is freaking delicious if you are not Anna and have a less discerning palate.
And I just dropped the link in the chat too. I after this stream, I have like a little break, and then I do another stream on Wednesdays with Drunk Creepio where we watch episodes of Star Trek because Drunk has never seen it, and so we're gonna be watching. We do double features now, so Drunk can actually get through it. So we're doing Dagger of the Mind and Miri.
Most exciting. George Turner says, I'd like Anna to do a portrait of a Jawa. I think it'd be really interesting, actually, to see what you did with the Jawa. It would be a lot of, dark shading, obviously, because I got little hoods and shit. But
it's really, you can change up the lighting and stuff, but yeah.
Oh, yeah, you can do whatever you want. But I'm saying, like, most of what we think of Jawas, we think of the little white, the light eyes and just the dark, But that'd be interesting. That'd be fun. It'd be fun to see you do, like, a little collection of Jawas, like, 3 of them, like, standing next to each other or something like that. I don't know. That'd be fun.
I'm doing portraits to show the emotion.
Yeah. That'd be really interesting to do a Jawa holding the egg from Mandalorian. Can Anna do a portrait of Henry Cavill without falling apart?
I actually wanted to do one of him as the Witcher, and then he has a dog named Cal, which is Kal-El, like Superman's real name. And so I wanted to do it like the Witcher, like, and he's like looking like this, and then like either have Cal like below him or behind him, like his shadow. And then I would post it and just ask everyone, please retweet it or like tag him on Instagram, so that way he can see it.
That would be cool. You should totally do that. I think you do a great job with the Witcher portrait. That'd be really cool.
But then I don't want him to like say something publicly and then get harassed by all the psychos. I don't want to bother him, but I do want to.
I just hate this.
I'll give it to him for free if he likes it.
I just hate this shit that we're in this space of like, yeah, not because of anything we did, because we're not the harassers. We're not the ones going out doxing people. We're not the ones screaming for boycotts and tearing people down publicly and privately all day long. We're not. And yet we're the hate group somehow. It's like, I don't think so. I don't go around Twitter finding people I don't like and harassing them, commenting shitty things on their tweets. I don't. But people do that to me constantly, so they can also fuck themselves.
Well, see, that's it. It's like I don't go out of my way to go and find people that I don't like. Like if it's something, if it's a public figure, if it's something out there in the media, and I give my 2 cents on it, that's one thing. But it's like, I don't go and look at other YouTubers and like comment on their stuff. Like sometimes if somebody asks me and I'm like, yeah, that was shitty that so-and-so said this and this and this. I don't do that because I'm like, it's honestly not worth my time. I don't care enough about that, Yeah. But if it's like, when it like all this stuff was happening with Collider and then like saying this and this, and I was like, okay, well that's stupid. And then like if people ask me directly about it, I'll give my 2 cents on how much I am aware of the situation. But it's like if somebody's like, oh, is that the tulip? Oh, is it the tulip? Well, come here.
The tulip.
Come here. See, this is more important. Come here. What are you doing? Where are you? I was looking for you. I was on the internet. We were all trying to find you. Where are you? Where were you?
James Hancock is so. Oh, Tulip! Hi, Tulip. How is Mushy? Oh, she give mommy kisses.
Hi, baby.
Mommy go kisses.
She has a puppy swing now. I got her a puppy swing for the front yard.
Does she like it?
Yes, she loves her little puppy swing. So she has a swing. She loves being in fucking swings. She's weird.
That's so precious.
I got her a swing and I got Bella a swing. And so they both sit in their swings and they swing together. And somebody was walking by and they stopped and they're like, no. And they're like, is that a real dog? And they're like, of course it's a real dog.
Can you please send me a picture or video?
I have a picture on my phone. I'll show you right now.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's like you know when you go to the park and there's like a swing that you put babies in, that's what Tulip has, and she has her little leg hang out.
Right now, right back behind me, this whole stream, Spush Han has been just crashed out on a pillow up here. We got some new pillows, and oh, Spush, you got food on the bottom of your mouth, dude. You didn't clean your mouth after you ate, you dumbass. But you little dirty face, little dirty face, little boy. Little dirty face. He's just been lying on this pillow up here this whole time. What a cutie pie. All right.
Give me kiss. You give me kisses.
Kisses.
Yeah, I tease. I'm like the cat's got the box and Tulip got to swing. So this is Tulip and Bella. So she's got her little puppy swing. It hangs in the tree in the front yard.
Oh my God.
So one branch has her swing, the other branch has a regular girl. And she just sits there and she has her little arm and it hangs out and she just she likes being pushed in the air so like the air goes into her nose so she can breathe.
I feel like Jane would. That's cute. Oh my God, that's so funny. I feel like Jane, of all my cats, Jane would like a swing. He'd just sit and chill. Oh, hello. Oh.
I missed you so much. I couldn't see you. I got so scared. I was crying. We were all looking for you.
Oh. Alejandro says, imagine Tulip throwing a butt on her puppy swing. Puppy swing!
I know she got puppy swing. She got puppy swing. Oh, the Tulip. Oh, she's so full of love. She just wants a kiss.
Oh, the kiss.
She'll just do this for hours until you make her stop. She's the most
We had a dog, one of our newfies. Anytime I would come home from college or something, or even come home from school, they would just swarm you. If you lay on the ground, he would just come up and stand over you and just lick your face incessantly forever. And then sometimes he would pin you. He would lie down on your chest. He's a newfie. He's 100 something pounds. So he'd be on your chest licking your face so you couldn't get up anywhere. And then his brother Jake would go and drink water, and Jake he was very tight-lipped, but he would get so wet and all down his big old chest when he drank water. And he would drink a ton of it and then come walk over to you, and you'd be pinned by Zach, and then Jake would just come and drool all over your face. It felt like you were drowning.
I'm gonna pull up the chat. Everyone, you better tell Tulip she's cute, or else she's gonna cry.
Puppies are good for the
Everyone just spam the chat telling Tulip how cute she is. Yeah, I got the screen pulled up so she can see.
Jonathan Hurst.
Everyone's gonna tell you how cute she is.
Anna doxed Tulip.
What was that?
Anna's assault confirmed. Oh, I bet she loves it. I bet she does love it even more in the hot, sweaty weather because she loves to give kisses.
Oh my god, she loves Peaches. Like, she'll just sit there and lick him because he's so salty.
Oh.
Okay, everyone. Oh, see, I see one. See, that person says Tulip cute. Tulip is cute. Tulip, you walk dog. Oh, they're so cute. Oh, see, look, everyone tell you how cute you are.
White.
Yeah. Everyone's telling you how cute you are. Oh, so
Spush. No one thinks you're cute.
Everyone telling Tulip, oh, see, look at that Tulip. Everyone say how cute you are. See, you know, cry. But now it's going to get white the whole head because she's a spoiled little princess. See, they all tell you, oh, so sweet. You say thank you. You say thank you.
In my professional opinion, Tulip is cute. Han is back there like, oh, Han and Tulip have met each other and they don't dislike each other, which is funny.
Tulip is so cute. Tulip is so cute.
Okay. Well, now that Tulip has her validation, I think that we are ready to say goodbye to the internet for me for the day, for Anna for like a couple hours. But bye world. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being part of this. Thank you for supporting the matriarchy.
She's about to fall asleep.
Oh, Tulip's like, enough. I've been overloaded by love. I am tired now. I am tired. Shad says Tulip and Pancake should have a play date for Twitter. They totally should. Pancake likes her, and she's fine with him. So they've met before a couple times.
She was there when I rescued him.
She was there when he was a bitty baby, and she's been up to visit since then. So we should have them have a play date. It'll be cute. That'd be great for their for their brands. All right. Thank you once again. Thanks for being here. All right. Anna, any last words?
See you guys later on Drunk 3PO's channel to watch Star Trek.
All right. Well, God Empress.